That didn't work.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Man. So close. All right, never mind. Here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BlackGate podcast, episode 8. I had an interesting title for it, but I changed my mind at the last minute. It's just Batman Arkham series. I'm going to be doing some gameplay, chatting Batman, the Arkham series. I am your host, Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor. And with me, I have collected a number of rogues to kind of aid me in my exploration and escape of Gotham City. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Greetings, Internet! Megatron94 here. Please sit back, have a load off, and watch Batman beat the shit out of some scumbag.
How the hell do I follow that? Hi, I'm Gumby. I'm here too. I don't. This is my first time on a BlackGate podcast, so I don't know what the procedure here is, but I'm here. Hi.
Yeah, it's just a procedure.
I'm also drinking, so.
Perfect. I'm not alone then.
I guess it's my turn. Hi, I'm Orc Girl, and I'm just excited to be included. So nice to meet everybody. I am excited for this podcast.
Sweet. All right, so we might have 2 more people jumping in later. Maybe we'll see. I sent them the information to jump in, but this is why I kind of like to have like a good number of people. That way, it's not just me because.
Right.
I mean, I can get kind of boring. Mm-hmm. I understand that from some people. All right, let me make sure.
I don't know. I'm always entertained. Then you had like the limit of my interactions with you is on Twitter and like occasionally Discord. So
yeah, see, because you don't get to interact with the real me, and the real me is he's something. All right.
Yeah, this is actually my first time hearing your voice as well, which is interesting.
Yes. It's always weird hearing someone's voice for the first time. I don't care who they are. It's like hearing someone's voice. It's almost always never what you expect. And at the same time, it's like you kind of start thinking, what did I expect? Like, How did I even... Why would I assume your voice was something... Like, how do you assume someone's voice, really?
Right.
I didn't know what I was assuming, but I remember the first time I heard Struggler's voice, it literally just sounded like he was Black Filthy Frank. And I told him as much, and he was so happy. He was ridiculously happy about that.
Or like for me, it's like seeing what people look like for the first time when all you've known them by is like a picture on Twitter, and in my mind, like they always look like whatever their Twitter picture is, and then I see them like, oh, you're a real person, not an anime avatar.
What are you talking about? This is exactly what I look like. This is what I look like. The helmet, the bat symbol on my chest, the abs, the pecs.
He doesn't know what he wants to be.
I'm convinced.
I will say, just the fact, hey, it's Edgy.
Hey.
I will say, just the fact that, like, very few people have seen my actual face. But, like, my buddy Slim, which I'm sure you guys know. I know Edgy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what Slim said that one stream?
Yes, last stream. Just like out of nowhere. It's like, hey guys, you don't know this, but Gumby is actually really hot.
That was kind of so freaking random.
I'm so happy about that. Like,
it was so random.
I love Slim. Slim is amazing. And it's like he is the like a living embodiment of my ego boost.
See, I have this philosophy when it comes to like internet culture and anything is that, and this, I'm not a liar in real life. I'm not a liar, but on the internet, and I don't mean to sound like one of those internet trolls. It's like I'm whatever I need to be for my argument or my stance, because it's like how, and I apply this to anyone else because it's like. In the rare case of like Orc Girl, like, I don't know what any of you guys look like. This might be a recording Orc Girl's using.
You would know what I looked like if you followed my freaking alt back.
I'm a VTuber. This is, just a
Man,
whole
these avatars are getting just so lifelike now. Like who did the rigging for your model? Like, good God, that is amazing.
But I've seen people do that where it's like they record a video of themselves and they use it as like a digital background, and they just they like turn off their webcam or they like hide or put something over it.
Wow.
So it's just like a tape recording of them. It's like basically it's like a cheap way to like be in class for like a Zoom or even a Zoom meeting without actually being there.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Hey, Soggy.
Soggy's here. Yay.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
Also going to be the first time I hear her voice.
Hey!
Hello.
Hey, bitches!
Soggy.
I'm putting on a fake accent, sorry. Hey!
Oh Lord. Harley's here, everybody.
Harley Quinn's in the shit.
Pretty much.
Okay, now you have to say Mr. J at some point, right?
Mr. J, I gotta pay. No, I'm sorry.
Jesus, Harley.
I can't
right,
do a
yes.
joke.
Let me out of the bad girl box.
Now, Harley,
I know that's
do you want to
bad.
Harley? Do you want to know how I got
Like,
these scars?
So how do you mute?
Yeah,
guests?
I stabbed you.
Oh God, no! I don't know why, but like every time somebody brings up Harley Quinn, I remember seeing like this old YouTube thing. It was like this Lego crossover between Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man, and like, the few. By the laughs, I feel like somebody knows what I'm talking about, but it's like
Just laugh.
There was one scene-
That's an interesting crossover.
He has a nice image.
yeah, I know it was weird, and it was like super, like Joker had some scenes, and Harley was there, but she was like off screen the entire time, and like every time she talked, Joker would just tell her how much she needed to just lose weight, and she would start crying.
Holy shit. I'm
Joker.
taking the abuse to a new level.
And you just hear in the background,
My mother was right about you. Let me try it. My mother was right about you.
that's exactly what it sounded like. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Now, Harley. I would do crazy. Harley, you want to hear a funny joke?
Now, I just want to put this disclaimer
You're
on
right.
this real quick. I just want to put a disclaimer on this real quick.
My
I
mother
have
was
not-
right about you.
I have not played this game in years, so if you see me getting my ass kicked, just understand that asterisk. Like I am learning this game again because it's
I
been
haven't-
years.
I haven't played
Batman's
Arkham
on
games since
easy
Arkham-
mode,
since
Mr.
Arkham
J.
Oh no, we're on normal mode. We're not that much of a.
Wait, does this game even
Oh.
have an easy mode?
We're
I
on
can't
normal
remember.
mode.
It does.
It's
Just
easy,
remember,
mobile,
just
hard,
remember to press
game
counter.
plus.
Just remember to
Just
press
spam
counter.
triangle. Just spam triangle. I think it's triangle. Yep, there you go.
Yes, triangle.
Use your diamond
It's like-
senses. Use your diamond claws. Gather diamond claws. Gather diamond claws, Catwoman.
This is one thing and it's only
I
in
feel
the
like that's a
ultimate
reference to
edition
something.
of this game. It's like I'm not a fan
Yes, it
that
is.
you start this game playing as Catwoman. Like she's not a bad character. She's awesome in her own right. But this is Batman Arkham City. Why am I playing as Catwoman
Right.
in the
You know,
opening?
maybe it's because this is the version I first played.
Ass.
I actually thought that was how it always worked. And yes, ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in a second.
My very first playthrough of the game was like immediately after the game came out, and so I started off playing as Batman or Bruce Wayne,
There we go.
and then like my second playthrough was after I'd gotten like all the DLC and everything, and so I started off playing here, and I'm like, where did this come from? And I initially thought it was just it was like exclusive to one of like the higher difficulties or New Game Plus. I don't know. I was like 12.
Yeah, because I remember this was like right around the time I started buying DLC for games. Like at first I just never bothered, and then like I love this game so much I was like, oh, I'll get the DLC for it, and I bought it, and then I think I remember one time just playing it brand new, and this opened up, and I was so lost as to like, what is happening? Why am I Catwoman all of a sudden? Like, why did it just jump to this? I thought I started up like the game wrong or something.
Surprise, Catwoman.
It's a nice surprise, though.
Surprise! You're a Catwoman.
Was it just me, or
You're
did
a
like her
Catwoman,
design
Harry.
kind of get a downgrade between city and night?
Well, because at night they went out like I said this earlier before the
Seemed more
stream started. Is
simplistic.
that like before like
Night
In
went more
Asylum?
realistic, I think.
yeah, in Asylum, City, and Origins, the style was very comic bookish. It wasn't like perfectly realistic. It was like a hint of it, but Night went full realistic.
Yeah.
And some of the characters they transferred kind of well. Some of them didn't. Like Jim Gordon probably has the biggest like evolution.
I like
throughout.
Scarecrow in Arkham Knight. The fact that his face is now like his mask.
Yeah, but how does he talk?
I know that's kind of the weird thing. I was
I don't
like,
know, how
do you
does
talk,
Harvey
man?
Dent talk?
That's,
I mean, he
that's
still
another-
has his.
Disbelief.
I mean, he
Well,
still
this-
has part of
I
his
said it.
face.
Ventriloquism. Wait, that's not the Harley accent. I just went to my lisp.
I forgot that like total dick move. Just millionaires are so last year.
Oh man, I remember this. It's like I sometimes I forget like Batman and like I know it sounds dumb. I sometimes forget Batman is Bruce Wayne and vice versa
Because they're so
like,
different.
it speaks a lot to how effective his camouflage is and secret
Yeah.
identity is. I know who he is. I've read the comics and I'm sitting here like, there's no way this is
What is this?
there's no
Same
way
dude.
Batman is Bruce Wayne. They're
And
completely different people.
Unfortunately, at least in my
The
opinion, you
Telltale
don't really
game.
see a lot of that anymore. Well, I mean, even with the Telltale game, you still like throughout the entire
No, no,
time,
no,
you still
what-
felt like Bruce Wayne.
What I'm trying to say
Go ahead.
about the Telltale game is I've remembered the Super Best Friends playthrough of it, and they actually kept commenting that this was Archer Batman. That this was Bruce
Oh
Wayne.
yeah, he
Archer.
looks
It was a
yeah,
very
like Archer in
Archer.
that.
It was a very Archer Bruce Wayne.
Probably doesn't help that it was Troy Baker.
That's
Troy-
funny.
So I will say though, I did really like Troy Baker as Bruce Wayne / Batman. I really liked it.
Yes,
would
he was
love-
good.
I would
He
love
was
to
good at-
see a season 3. We're never going to get it, but I would love to see it.
Yes, he was good
hell
as
no, that
Bruce
ain't
Wayne
gonna
and
happen.
Batman in the Batman vs. TMT film. That I'll admit to that. But for when
I've
he's
not
the
watched
Clown Prince of Crime,
Yeah,
Ugh.
like 'cause
let's get this.
I even liked him as Joker.
it's funny
in
because like
Origins, at least.
Troy Baker has played like even
He's
in the
played
Arkham
Joker,
game.
he's played Batman.
Yeah, he's
Hugo
played Two
Strange just has
Face.
a very punchable face.
I think he played the Arkham Knight as well. Like he's played so many characters.
Oh yeah, I think he was.
in the
Arkham
Was he
Arkham
Knight.
Jason?
series alone.
I think he
Yeah,
was.
he was.
Arkham.
Let me-
He was.
Let me
Bad.
look it up. Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
I think he was.
Yeah, like
Batman's in big bad trouble.
so I forgot
Really.
how to get out
He's
of this.
Batman. He'll figure it out.
You gotta sway from side to side.
Yeah,
Wait,
Catwoman
wait,
just does it
damn it.
naturally, but Batman has to make an effort.
Okay. No, that's the wrong list.
Quick,
one thing I'll
Batman,
say about this
use
game,
your-
and it's kind of annoying, is that like
use your-
the quick time
use your
events, like
repellent.
you can fail. This is one of those games where, if I remember correctly, you can fail some quick time events and they just keep hitting you, but nothing happens.
Oh wow.
Wow. Well, they did that in Arkham Knight too. Just that one part where you grab the penguin by his neck and his goons try to come in and hit you, and you can just not block it. I mean, you'll take damage
All right, let me
from
see.
it, but
I know you can catch some details here.
I know you can see Black
Asshole.
Mask like kind of behind you here.
Yeah,
he's like
Black
there
Mask
it
is right behind
He's like-
you. No,
He's like trying
no,
to
you
fend
gotta
people
turn
off
around.
with the chair.
Right
Yeah,
there
there
in
it
that
is.
corner. There's
Yeah,
my
there's a
boy.
chair.
There's my boy.
Yeah,
There's my boy.
his design in this game is so weird because it's like it's his face.
Well, yeah, this is after he was in the fire.
Yeah, but in Night he comes back and it's a mask again.
No,
That's
Oh,
the
that's-
origin.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
what
that's
it is.
right. He's
no. I'm saying if you in
Oh.
Arkham Knight in the I think
Is he
Red
in Arkham
Hood.
Knight?
So he's
Yeah, he's in the Red
Bondface?
Hood DLC.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
Red Hood DLC, he's like
Oh, yeah,
it's just a mask again. It's the same design from Origins. Like the suit and everything, it's all the same.
Wasn't he Joker in Origins though?
No,
Yes.
he was in Origins.
Yes, he was. No, he was the Joker.
Joker was him.
Yeah, Joker was like
no,
pretending to be
Joker.
him or
Yeah,
something.
Joker had kidnapped him and was masquerading as him, which was the stupidest thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
thought he was
understand
weird.
why. I understand why they wanted to use Joker. I'm not even mad about them using Joker.
Okay,
But
so I did. Oop, shit. Okay,
that's
as it
Floyd
tu-
Lawton in front of you, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Okay, as it turns out, yes, Troy
Before
Baker
he
did
became
voice Jason Todd.
I knew it. Like
Yeah,
voice-
it was,
That doesn't
I don't
sound
know.
like him.
No, it sounds
That
like
doesn't.
him.
Yeah, it does.
No, it
It
doesn't.
sounds like
It sounds like him if you turn the distortion off. You can tell it's him.
yeah, like he sounds exactly like Delson Rowe.
Yeah, he really does. It's like the Delson Rowe voice.
Which that's another franchise I would love to see make a comeback. Infamous.
Oh, Infamous! Oh hell yeah! Second Son was pretty
If
good.
they
I
could
liked
just,
it.
I would love for them to like release a remaster of like
The
of the
original?
first two games on PS5. And
I'm
then
kind of
just
surprised
use
they
that-
didn't. Like, even if it was just an HD remaster of the first two on PS4, I'm kind of surprised they didn't
Yeah, I
before
would
Second
love
Son
that.
came out.
why am
That
I
would've-
so
That would have seemed like a golden opportunity.
Well, I can understand them not doing it before Second Son came out because Second Son was practically a launch title for PS4. So like,
Yeah.
I can definitely understand them doing like focusing entirely on
You look moist.
Second Son.
Quick, kick their ass, Batman.
This is so funny to me because
Oh wait,
it's
I
like
mean Bruce Wayne.
it's funny because like
Bruce
he's not
man.
like it's like how is he kicking so much ass?
And his hands are cuffed.
Yeah,
Because
it's
he's
like,
Batman.
Yeah,
But I'm
but
saying, like,
nobody's
these
going to
inmates-
question
In a
it.
suit and
Like,
tie.
nobody's
Inmates
gonna
and
question that the
everything.
billionaire is breaking people's arms.
The guy in a suit there, he's the one.
And he's kind of wet.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, I was like, he's very wet. Bruce Wayne
Yeah. Why?
very
What is going
wet
on
right
with his
now.
suit? Like, it's like way too reflective.
I think he's supposed to be sweaty. Maybe.
I'm
Hey,
the
look, it's Nolan North.
Penguin.
Nolan.
I love the Penguin.
Brutal.
What a crotch shot. If I
All right, keep in mind.
every
Keep in
time I
mind.
don't do the bad Brooklyn accent, I do a lisp. I sound like the worst
even
fucking
do a
Harley
Brooklyn
ever.
accent.
Now,
The
I
closest
have
I
a-
can
Yeah,
get
I
to a New
mostly
York accent is
practice by,
I'm
like-
fucking here.
do they ever explain how his eye
was
got
to say,
like that?
No.
He had his monocle in the
It's
PS3
pink eye!
version, didn't he?
No, it's like a piece of glass.
Mr. J
in his
gave
eye.
him pink eye.
No, he's got like a piece of
Mr.
glass in
J
his
did
eye.
it.
That's got to be
Penguin
the
stole
worst
his
pink eye I've
pudding.
ever seen, and I've
You
had it in
don't
both
fucking
eyes.
touch his pudding. He won't touch
Oh,
his
like he
pudding at
cares
all.
about the. Oh, please! Like he cares about that. What's the proper word? Proper word. Crap. I can't think of one.
I don't know, man. It's
Hey,
tapioca.
come on,
It's pretty good.
I love the idea of the Penguin trying to touch like the Joker's pudding in Arkham Asylum, and he just punches the monocle in his face.
Now, Sauron. Before I recommend you run then punch Penguin, because it's a lot more funnier.
I'm trying to. Okay,
That's a lot funnier.
I'm trying to.
Go up.
No,
make sure to
sit,
punch
run,
Penguin in the face.
run. Yeah, run and then
Oh my-
punch him. Run and punch.
There you go.
Oh, that's pretty therapeutic. I
I'm
mean,
trying to remember how this game plays. Like, I know I'm about to have a tutorial, but I don't trust it. I want to know.
Why did I decide to boot
Tutorial.
up? Why did I decide to boot up Soul Calibur 6 and the one person online has the most garbage lag
Oh wow, I forgot.
ever?
Oh, see, this is how long it's been since I played this game. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go right now. Like,
Go to the dumpster that has the ladder to your
Oh, I see.
left.
Yeah, I don't remember much of this part of the game.
Yep, that one.
it's funny because I remember the story.
It's all kind
like,
of coming back to me.
I remember the story pretty well. I remember like certain moments of it, but I'd be hard pressed to tell you exactly like beat for beat.
I just remember the whole fake out with Joker.
I remember how much they disrespected my boy Two-Face.
Yeah, this
You
series
just
like
To be honest,
0 for 2 for
I
like
thought
your
we were
characters getting
playing-
disrespected.
I thought
The
we were
Two-Face
playing the
really
first
got-
game, so this
So-
was so new to me.
so
I
what
thought-
happened
Never
was
seen
I
City?
thought you guys were gonna be like, no,
I
I've
actually
never
have never
played.
played
I've
the
never
first
seen
one,
this
actually.
game. It was the first game.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought we
Yeah,
were gonna
City
like
is
rag on the
really-
Super Joker.
so yeah, that was
No,
something.
no. City was.
Oh, I just automatically climbed.
I came in
Um,
on City, and then I didn't play Origins, and then I played
Don't look bad.
Night.
Origins
Yeah,
is
'cause-
worth playing. Don't let anybody tell you different.
I remember. What was it like? I did a poll asking everyone what their favorite Arkham game was, and most people said Arkham City, which I think
That's not surprising.
is not surprising.
Am I
at
the
all.
only one who voted
Um,
for Asylum?
Well, because
No,
the thing about Asylum,
I'm familiar with Asylum. That is the one game I have played of the Arkham series. I like that one too.
because from what I understand,
Okay, so
like,
that's your problem.
A lot of
You've only
people,
played the first one.
a lot of people like.
Like Asylum
What do
is
you call
amazing, but it's still the worst.
Oh, I agree.
That's the thing, though. It's the worst bar of gold in Fort Knox. Like
The
it's,
worst.
Yeah, it's like it's the worst by default because
The-
you know like they let
That's weird because
later
most people
refined
say
it.
Night is the
It-
worst.
It's
Oh,
Night
a,
is
Origins
definitely
is.
not the
it's
worst.
a piece
It's only
of
the worst if
gold
you.
with a turd
Night-
on it, and the turd
Night
is the
is
Super
like-
Joker.
Mhm.
Night is like
So,
misguided.
not gonna lie, I actually really liked the idea of Super Joker. I thought it was hilarious.
The Titan Joker. you mean?
That's
Sorry.
what they did.
The concept is funny, but like the execution was just kind of
You mean Titan Joker, right? That's what we're talking about. Titan
yeah.
Joker.
Titan Joker.
Yes.
Let's be honest, though. That's what Joker would have wanted.
No, I just
Except
I would've wanted
except
that.
having a mohawk. Except having a mohawk. That's
It's a
just
Johawk.
I think the problem is that
Bruce
like
Wayne's Bat Porta Potty just came.
I think the problem
it's
with
the
that
Bat
was
Porta
that like
Potty, everybody.
Oh my
The
god,
entire
it's the
game.
back porta potty.
the entire game hypes up Joker as like this mastermind.
Mhm. And then it's
And,
just
like-
a fist fight.
Yeah, it's just a fist fight at the end.
Mhm.
It really
Yeah.
was disappointing.
And
like,
then Mr.
objectively.
And then Mr. J grows 10 feet and just goes, "Look, Batman, I got a bigger dick than you."
He
I
also
mean, that is kinda
he
what it
also
was.
has he also
Batman
has
Damned would have something to
he
say
also has
about that.
Incredible Hulk abomination spine shit going on.
And
I'm
the
not
There's
gonna lie,
spine
it
spines
was
is
going
kinda
out of his
cool.
back and stuff. It's like okay,
From a
Okay,
design
Joker.
standpoint, that
Wait,
was
would he have? Would
He had the
have
fingernails
spines on his
of a
penis?
telemarketer from Chicago.
yeah, he did. He really
I'm
did.
sorry. Wait.
That
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
I said, would he have spines on his penis? Hey, I'm confident.
Ew. Don't eat that. I don't eat that image in my head, okay?
Okay,
Wait.
okay. Don't hate me on this one, but it sounded like you said "don't eat that" instead of "don't say
yeah,
that."
I was like, why
Yeah,
did
Jeff
Don't-
Harley. That's her
It's
thing.
like you said "don't eat that," and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Uh,
It's like, "Oh no!"
But yeah, like
Uh,
one thing I learned is that like a lot of people's first Arkham game was City, and it was my first Arkham game as well. I knew the story of Asylum before playing it, but like it was never a game I
I actually have a funny story about.
wanted to play.
I
Which
actually have
is
a funny.
ironically,
I have a funny story about why Arkham City was the first one I played. Because
that's a Catwoman.
no, it's not even Catwoman. I didn't even not that. The reason why is because I had I think I rented a game from somewhere and it had a trailer for Arkham Asylum. And I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then Killer Croc, and I was like, okay, I gotta get this game. And then I went to a GameStop and they were sold out. But they had Prototype there, which is another game I wanted to play.
Prototype was cool.
So I ended up getting Prototype instead.
yeah. When did this game come out again? Like when was it first
I
I
released?
guess I didn't get it like the
Let me
year
look
it came
it up.
out. It was like years. I think it was like a year or two later.
Let me look it up.
Because I know like this was like the era of
You know, the
games
physics on his
being just
cape are actually
good.
still pretty good.
Yes.
2011.
This was like the
what
era.
do you know? I was right.
Like I'm
Bat
just
physics
I'm
on
not-
the
I forgot how
bat
good the
cape.
physics on the cape
Who
are.
would've
I am not
thunk it?
normally this
Superhero
egotistical.
landing.
You got to do one.
Bad for your knees. It's bad for your knees, Batman.
I know.
As if he doesn't have some kind of padding on his knees in that suit.
I'm
He
doesn't wear hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Oh,
Miss
Batman
Kyle.
needs the bats needs knee pads to work, y'all. Wait, I just
Well,
went
remember
to
what
sound-
happened remember what happened after Dark Knight, where when he somehow. That's the one thing in Dark Knight that bugged me. It's like, okay, you fell from an actual skyscraper to save Rachel and fall in a taxi cab, and you're fine. But you tackle Harvey Dent off the side of a building, and then you stop your fall for a second, then fall later. And it's like, and then your leg is fucked up for the rest of the series until you get a brace. In the
It
third
was an
movie.
excuse. He was just sad and wanted
don't
an
remember
excuse
how
to
to-
not be Batman.
Sad,
Well,
sad
Edgy.
Batman hour.
Takedown.
Well, Edgy, you got to remember the Dark Knight also had a consistency problem because I know I'm going to get hate for this, but like when it comes before the final Joker fight, there's the scene where it comes to the hostages and the SWAT and whatever.
Yeah.
Mind you, remember also in that film, Bruce Wayne and Alfred sent Jim Gordon a text message, hey, one of your men is going to kill Reese in your car. And yet it's like, hey, Batman, you can't send a SWAT captain a text message or a phone call saying, hey, the hostages are actually wearing the clown masks and the hostages are actually the Joker's goons.
You know what I think
Does he
happened?
have their phone number though?
I think he only had Jim's number, and I think Jim was not paying attention to his phone because he immediately got the call from Dent.
Yeah, but I'm still saying,
Jim
though,
was getting a blowjob from his wife.
There it is.
With their
Sauron,
marital problems? I don't think
Sauron,
so.
you gotta go upstairs. You gotta go up the
I'm about to say,
stairs.
she's got
I know.
very
Not that
good
door. Not through that door.
teleportation
Not
skills.
through that door. Not the door.
I'm just
But
looking.
it's so shiny.
The hostages are
looking.
gonna blow up.
All I'm gonna say is if that's what happened, then Jim's wife is an X-Men and can teleport.
I'm just exploring
She
around
is
at this
an
point.
X-Men. She's
Yeah, she is
Well-
an
multiple
X-Men.
X-Men.
Well,
It was
you
his
did say you're a
second
little
wife.
bit rusty. You did say you're a little bit rusty, so it's
I
like
remember this portion pretty well because there was like a demo, and again, I'm a cheap son of a bitch. I played the demo before I ever bought the game, even when I was like a teenager, because I wanted to make sure I was getting my money's worth. And I must have played that demo multiple times. And the demo is essentially this section of the game. I think there's like some part of it where it's like, I think it leads all the way up until like the Joker reveal, in the sense that like Joker has some kind of hand in what's going on. Like when he blows up the church, I think.
I want to know. I never played the
God,
demo.
you guys make me feel so fucking old. Because I was playing the Xbox
feel
when
it.
I
I'm
was a
like-
teenager.
Blame Father Time for that.
I can
because,
almost
like,
guarantee
Yeah,
that I am
blame
the
time.
youngest person here.
I think
here's
you
my
are because
boy.
you said that you were you said that you were 12 when this game came out. I think I was like at least.
I'm 22.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Yeah. I think you are the
he's
youngest.
handsome.
Yeah.
Ah, he's ugly.
26. Yeah, 26 when that came out.
Joker actually has a really good burn in Arkham Knight for Harvey Dent. He's like, Harvey, does the burn go all the way down
Yeah.
down the middle? All the way
Damn,
down?
all right.
I was like, damn, dude.
Ooh, stop smacking around my cat swimmings.
Misogyny.
I love cat
Oh
swimmings.
God! Oh God! Rocksteady, you really screwed up on Two-Face, promoting him like hell, and then next thing you know, oh, we're going to have it for like a few minutes, and then Catwoman DLC.
Yeah, I will say this one thing about the Arkham games that really bothered me is that, like, I get they were trying to have some kind of consistency with their story, because it'd be kind of crazy if they just kept jumping back and forth between like villains and stuff like that. But like, if you're not the Joker in these games, you're not getting the same kind of love.
Yeah,
as a
you're not.
villain.
If
Well,
you're not the Joker in
that-
anything, you're not getting the same.
Like, I remember being
Come on.
so mad with Arkham Knight when they brought
Yeah.
Deathstroke in there, and it's like you fight him in
Oh
a tank
my
battle.
God. That
It's
is
a
the
tank battle.
That is the. I will say that is the number one reason why Arkham Knight is not higher on my list for me.
Like, I would have been fine if the tank battle was like the first part, like maybe halfway through the side quest. He fights you in a tank, and then you beat him in a tank, and then he gets away, and then later on you fight him straight up.
And it's like an actual fight like
Yeah.
in Arkham Origins.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think DC
And then just one
Comics
shot
had
some of them.
weird requests? Kind of like how they had those really strange requests for like Batman 64 that kind of killed it. Like, did they have like strange
Actually,
requests
yeah,
like
I
like
think they
you must
did
have-
because I
that's
think they
something.
did.
That's something that a lot of people kind of overlook when it comes to like these licensed games. Is that like the people who own the license will have like certain things that like they want met, and that'll be like part of like the deal in order
So-
to have the property even made.
Makes
Like
sense.
I remember because this was this is one that I remember. The like Sega with like Sonic with the comics, they are like there's certain things you just can't do. Like one of them was like you can't be seen crying or something weird like that at one point, which is so weird.
Wow,
It's like
makes
wait a
Sonic
minute,
cry.
you can't have him actually be sad in a comic book. Like I get it, like you can't have him kill people or something because yeah, that would be
sad
ridiculous.
Sonic.
Sorry, it doesn't work with our brand.
No sad Sonic.
No sad Sonic, even though I think
Oh
this
my-
was after the Archie comics because there's parts in the Archie comics where it's like he's legit crying.
There's something
Shit.
like
I
one thing I
just
always
realized
loved about these
something.
games. What's up?
Amy, I just realized something. You've had to change your comic to have it meet requirements for that one webcomic hosting thing. So you've done changes to your own work.
Oh, what requirements do they have? If you don't mind me asking.
Sorry, what, like, were you asking me something, Soggy, or did you?
She
Yeah,
was
it
saying
was,
that you had to change change your comic based on
Hmm.
the requirements, like the place you had uploaded it to, or something like that.
No, well, a little bit. Like on certain sites they have certain like, okay, you can't show this type of content or this type of content without censoring it. And one site, Tapas, that I post on, they were fine with nudity. Okay, like not a problem at all. You know, titties out, it's great. But they had a problem with me depicting pubic hair.
That's weird.
I had to go through and censor the pubic hair. Dick
That's
hanging
such
out,
a-
no problem. I'm like, okay.
That's such a weird, arbitrary
Weird.
thing.
Apparently, they have.
weird hang-ups.
Sorry, what was that?
You humans have weird hang. It was a drag. I'll stop talking.
It was really bizarre, though. It was like I asked them, "It's like, why do you guys? Well, you're fine with the rest of the nudity. I thought that wasn't a problem." They're like, "Well, it's not the nudity; it's the pubic hair, and it's not us. It's Apple, iPhone. Their app store does not allow it."
So they allow like full on nudity, but oh god, hair, no.
Yeah. Now it's funny, like webtoon. You know, it's really funny because like I put the pubic in there as the pubic hair to kind of censor things. Because I thought, okay, so it's kind of covering things, right? No, apparently not. And like webtoon, on the other hand, I post there, and they're like, no nudity at all. So
I was
it's,
about to say, I didn't think Webtoon lets you do nudity.
no, they
I'm
don't.
really surprised.
No.
I haven't seen anything like that.
But at least I'm like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, at least that's like more like consistent, like
Right.
not consistent but logical. Than okay, you can have nudity but no pubes.
Mhm.
Everybody needs to be shaved.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
everyone
Like,
has to be shaved because
Right.
it's for crabs awareness. I guess I don't know.
see, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe what's the DC or what's it Warner Brothers at the time? I don't know who makes the final decisions on Batman, but like it makes me wonder if they said we want the Joker to be
dick.
the main. Oh God.
So
Ugh.
you say that, and I literally have Batman Damned sitting on my shelf across from me, and I just keep looking back at it.
Wait, which one is Batman Damned again?
That's
It's
the one that
where
had
they-
the dick shot.
The full frontal
Oh.
nudity.
Which
I remember they were
by the
trying to
way,
make that like a
I
huge
completely
deal, and I'm like,
forgot
does
about.
anyone really?
No.
And
Is that anyone really care about that? Like that's such a weird flex, but okay.
All right,
I was
hold on a second. I'm gonna
reminded
see if
of
I can
it.
kill him.
Stab him in the
Hey,
dick.
leave
You
my
can't.
boy alone. Leave my boy alone.
Nah, fuck
Murder.
him up. Fuck
All
him
right,
up.
all right.
Stab him
Murder.
in the dick.
Murder.
Stab him in the dick.
Murder.
Wait, I'll let the jury decide.
Murder.
You know, guys,
No,
situ-
no.
in
Innocent.
situations
Innocent.
like these, I always
Alright.
ask
So, all those-
WWRHD.
What does
Alright,
that
Red
stand
Hood
for? What would Red Hood do?
What would Red Hood do?
Oh,
He would
Red
kill
Hood-
him.
Red Hood
Exactly,
would pull
there
out
you
a
go. Kill him.
Glock and just shoot him. All right, so
Red Hood just whips out the Glock
All
on
right,
the
let's-
Deagle.
let's settle this right now.
Coin
for
flip.
those-
Let's do a coin flip.
Oh man, I don't have a coin, so
I got
don't
one.
have
Hold on.
What's on the coin?
how about this? All those in
I got a
favor
coin.
of okay. Well, I don't know. You might be biased.
Yeah, we need to see the
Yeah.
coin.
I'm a man of my word.
I have a lucky
We
decision.
need to see the coin.
Okay,
All right, heads he
we
lives.
have.
Heads
tails.
he lives, tails he dies.
All right. Damn it! It's tails.
All right. Goodbye, Two-Face.
Oh my god!
Well, we left it up to
Yeah.
chance,
Oh,
Two-Face.
just look at that. It doesn't fucking work.
Yay! My boy lives.
Oh!
Does it work when you hit him?
Interesting.
What happens if you hit him with it?
Wait,
I already.
No,
Let me
it
try that
just
again.
kind of bounces off of him.
Yeah, I think it
Oh.
just bounces off him.
At least it doesn't clip through him.
what if you
See,
jump
look,
in?
it's like metal clanking. God dang it.
Clink, clink.
That's one thing. You ever played Spider-Man 2, like the movie?
You talk about the oh yeah, I used to play it all the time.
I remember there's a scene where you beat the Rhino and you like web him up
And then you could
from
just
like a
punch
street,
him.
and you just beat the shit out of him. To
And
me,
you
like
could just keep hitting him.
I get,
Hey,
it's
guys.
like, what's up?
In all reality, Two-Face would die anyway. He's above a big bed of acid that has fumes. He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah, that's
die
true.
from the noxious fumes.
You're just making it easier, you know. Just let him go quickly.
I'm just helping him along. I'm putting him out of his misery.
Yeah, you're just making it.
Hey.
clear.
See,
Hey,
you're doing the
leave
right
my
thing.
boy alone. You leave my boy alone.
I mean, she's not wrong. The noxious fumes from the
I'm
acid will
just thinking
probably
about-
kill him, or give him brain damage.
Yeah, because who? I'm sure one
Does
of
he
his
not have
goons.
brain damage already?
I was
sure
about
one
to
of
say
his
if he
goons
does it
come
already.
back.
Oh hell yeah!
So real quick,
I'll be right back.
Wow,
I gotta take my
Batman's
dog
got
outside.
Detective vision.
Sauron,
Okay.
before you leave
Okay.
the courthouse, go back up on the rope that you were up at the top.
Here we go. Remember, I'm on a delay. So you're on a
Yeah.
delay for me. So
Yeah. So
Oh
it's
yeah, I
gonna be
keep
a little bit.
forgetting that.
So look around, and I don't know if you've noticed this in the past, and I know like I never noticed, but this courthouse is actually split in two.
yeah. Okay. So this is
Half
something.
of it's all decrepit, and half of it is all orderly.
This is something
How
that
did
like
wow? Two-Face is
No,
really
it
taking that
reminds me of my own
duality
house.
thing too far,
This-
isn't he?
this is probably gonna be my most controversial take. I never understood how anyone didn't see that.
I never noticed that
Because I'm
actually.
stupid,
Really?
Sauron, shut up.
I've noticed
Yeah,
that like
I
ever since I
noticed
played
that.
this game. I was like, oh wow. I was like, half the building's trash and the other half isn't. And I keep hearing people say, like, I never noticed that. And it's like, what? Like,
Yeah, I legit never noticed that at all.
I will say I feel a little bit better about it because I found out some of the same people didn't know, or maybe not some of the same people, but like a bunch of people didn't know that you could fast travel while on a boat in The Witcher 3, and they had just been going around Skellige just on a boat.
Okay, it actually took me a minute to figure that out.
Dude, I saw that in like so many like loading screen hints before I even got to Skellige and was using a boat. So-
Imagine reading the loading screen hints. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think I ever
Don't-
like seriously read them.
Don't underestimate my boredom.
all right, now let's see.
So because I'm slow as hell with games that are long like that, I actually like finished Witcher 3, the main game like 2 years ago, and it's like I haven't started the DLCs, even though I have
Really?
them. Yeah.
Oh shit, there he is.
I got them all at oh my god, that was so fast.
I forgot you can see Azrael multiple times throughout the oh, get back
Yeah,
here.
you have to find them a couple times and just
Oh yeah, there he is.
Nice.
Are we gonna speak? Oh, there we go.
Azrael, you crazy
I wasn't
so and so.
He was pretty cool, and I kind of like the plot point they had with him in Arkham Knight until they didn't actually have him like become the new Batman or
Did
something.
he
'Cause that
just
could have been pretty
magic
cool.
away?
Yeah, he's basically
He
like,
just
well,
magic it away.
is it?
Yeah.
I can't remember Azrael's story. Like, isn't there
So
He's
like
like
some?
Azrael
brainwashed or something.
he was a cop that was part of a program that the GCPD had been making to try to create like their own superhero, and it actually turned him insane. Batman ended
Yeah.
up stopping him. He was recruited by the Order of Saint Dumas, who turned them into the latest in the long line of Azraels. They gifted
Right.
him with the Suit of Sorrows, which basically enhanced his natural abilities. And throughout the Arkham series, well, with Arkham City, he's watching you, so you find him, track him down, and eventually, once you track him down, like like 4 or 5 times. He like disappears, and you can basically Bruce is all like, oh, I have enough to triangulate his position. So like you take all the symbols he's left and lay them on the map a certain way, and you figure out where he's going to be, and you meet him there, and he's like, oh, there's a war coming, and it's basically just a hint at what Arkham Knight is going to be. And then
I remember people thought Azrael was the Arkham Knight, and I thought that would have been it would have been obvious, I think, but it would have still been kind of cool given that.
I don't know, honestly,
given that whole side quest.
The thing about the Arkham games, and this is probably one of the biggest knocks I'll give to Arkham City, is that there's a lot of like sequel baiting.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, seeing what a lot of it led to was dumb. Like,
it was super disappointing.
Azrael's probably the best one because of the fact that you actually get to do stuff with him. Like,
Hush was a problem too.
Oh my god!
Hush was the biggest disappointment.
It's like, we hyped the shit out of him in Arkham Knight, in Arkham City, and then in Arkham Knight, he's one side quest.
That said, I will say I did take Hush's Arkham Knight side mission. Like, I took a lot of inspiration on that for my concept for my own
Daisy
movie universe.
People are seeing you.
She's like, yeah, of course.
Kitty.
She's like, why did you hurt Catwoman or let Catwoman get hurt?
I know she's judging. She's judging us.
It's a kink thing.
She's judging us.
She's like, love. Now, you have 2 hands. One of them can pet me.
It's like, you got to pay the cat tax.
Oh god, yeah.
They have like this really adorable black cat named Hoshi, and he is great.
Oh.
It's such a shame that black cats still have that weird stigma about them, and it's like, dude, it's a cat.
Ow.
Like, what century are we in, guys?
It's a cat. It's not gonna bring doom to your house.
You know, this isn't the Middle Ages.
More than a normal cat will. Let me rephrase that.
That's how I got my black cat. This guy was like, she was a kitten, and she was like, it was like near Halloween, so they were afraid someone was going to abduct her and sacrifice her. So I'm like, I'll take her.
People actually do that?
People are weird when it comes to black cats and stuff, and
people
sorts of like superstitions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, you know what's the newest weird thing with black cats? Supposedly they're not as social media friendly, so now they're not being adopted because they're not as cute.
What the hell?
Filters, come on. What the hell?
You don't. Why would you buy it? First of all, you're an asshole if you buy an animal just so you can post it on social media.
Right.
You probably shouldn't have that animal.
I remember years ago, I worked in an animal shelter, and one of the things they did was adoptions and stuff. And what happened was there was a day where someone came in. They were looking for a black cat. It was them and some other family member of theirs. And first of all, it was kind of weird. To me, it was weird that they wanted like a specific cat, like a specific color of cat. But I was like, you know what? Maybe they said that's how we're going to narrow it down because, you got a lot of cats to choose from.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So then I kind of look around for like a black cat. And, there's not really many black cats because it's not like we get to choose what animals come into the shelter and show off to be adopted. So I find this one cat, this pitch black, kind of older cat, not too old, but, older, bigger cat. And at first I was kind of hoping like, they don't say nothing about him being older because a lot of people like to adopt the younger cats because they have them longer. So I get him, bring him inside to them, and immediately they're playing with it, they're rubbing them, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, sorry, not this cat. And I was like, what's wrong? It's like, well, he's got like little white fur on him, and I look closely and he's literally got like little white hairs, like they're not even patches. It's
because he's old.
His age.
Well, yeah, that too. And I was like, I didn't say nothing.
You were really trying not to say anything.
Yeah, because I was like, not trying to start nothing with anybody here because I was in high school. But I was just like, well, I mean, like that's the only black cat we had, so I mean,
it's like people are so dumb sometimes.
Yeah, that's just such a weird
Like a weird thing. Like what are you trying to get? You trying to get it to match your bedroom? I mean, like, what's the problem here?
Remember, counter, Sauron, counter.
Or you can just punch her.
If it was Thanos from the MCU, he would have stand up back to the kitchen.
Oh, there she is. Wait, why did you have like Cool Cat?
So
there she is.
I will say,
wasn't she voiced by Tara?
This is
Strong
Tara. This is Tara Strong at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Harley's voice Harley's design in Arkham City is like my number one Harley design. Honestly.
Yeah, I really
agree.
like her look in Night. Actually.
Night is okay.
I actually like this look for her.
Yeah.
For her quite a bit.
It's a lot more better
if you
than
like this
Asylum.
look-
She looked like she was on her way to a porn shoot.
Well, I think in Asylum they were trying to go for that like nurse.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Harley
know,
should
but
always-
still,
that was
though.
so weird.
But you know what I like is that
S&M
at least
nurse.
in these games, she still looks like Harley. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. I miss that because I mean she's supposed to be this weird kind of creepy clown chick, okay? And it seems like more modern iterations of her.
They
they're
just made her
really
quirky
dark.
and like newer shit.
Yeah, like she's not
Yeah.
even like doing the red and black colors anymore. It's now
She
like
needs
like
to tell
blue and
jokes.
pink.
Yeah, they got like blue and pink in her hair and
Oh.
stuff.
You know what? Okay, you know what's something?
The Suicide Squad finally did her right again.
oh,
The Suicide. Yeah,
The-
if you have HBO
I'd say
Max,
doing her
definitely watch
right
it. Yeah,
is a little bit much, but she was definitely done better than she's been.
It was an improvement.
yeah,
Yeah.
done.
Which
She
is not hard to
told
be an improvement.
jokes.
I will
Yeah,
say this.
That's the big thing about her that people forget. She needs
I
to
will
tell a fucking joke or two.
Yeah, she's got a sense of humor, a fucked up sense of humor, but
I will say this, and this one thing that always kind of annoyed me is this idea that, like, just because the Joker is no longer around her, that automatically starts making her a better person. and
yeah,
it's
I don't like that
no.
either. Because
No.
it's like,
No.
no.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, she was she was technically made by
But she definitely
The
allowed
Joker.
herself to be.
but it's not like she wasn't a willing
Oh.
participant.
Yeah, at some point, personal
The
responsibility has to come back
Suicide
into play.
Squad. She's still she's a hardcore murderer in the Suicide Squad.
That is
she's
an
a
improvement.
hardcore
She's
fucking
not
murderer.
down for child
Yeah.
murder, though.
How
That
is
is
Okay,
Yeah,
Sorry.
which is
Go
kind
back-
of weird because I swear she
Go back
didn't
by
like
the
children
organ.
in the original cartoon, or like I think in some of the comics. Hasn't she gone out of her way to torture kids in some of the comics?
I
Yeah,
know
she's
when,
done all
um,
sorts of awful stuff in the comics.
I know
And
that. I
again-
think it's. Oh, sorry.
she participated in the torture of Tim Drake in the Return of the Joker film.
Yeah, she
Well,
did.
Yeah, it's
She
one of
did.
those where it's
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah,
it's one of those where it's like what do you call it? Like
I was
Go
gonna
by the
say.
organ.
they're trying their best to kind of make
Even-
her like an anti-hero kind of thing, but it's
Yeah.
like
She's not Deadpool.
yeah,
They
even
Yeah,
want-
they're
make
really
her
trying to make her Deadpool.
Yeah,
yeah, and it just doesn't
Yeah,
work.
when
It's like
she-
why, it kind of takes
Knockout,
away a lot
knockout.
of the stuff that made her
Sorry,
kind of
knockout.
special, I guess.
No,
you know?
there was
Like,
the
she's
special
supposed to be
button of
the-
yeah.
She's supposed to be the
Knockout smash.
kind of tragic villain, but still clearly a villain.
Because I mean, I think people forget the point of Batman villains. Their point is that like okay, like in contrast with Marvel sits there and says, anybody can be a hero, but DC and Batman in particular says anybody can be a villain. And it
Yeah.
shows that, sometimes like personality quirks, if we don't keep that shit in check, can make us into really bad people and make us do bad things.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the whole point of it, is that she's someone who let her behavior get out of hand and became a really, awful villain because of it. Yeah, you see why, but you see why all of the Batman villains became evil. They
Yeah,
had
you
a
kind of do.
well, because there's one thing.
but with someone like say Mr. Freeze, he kind of had no choice because it's like, oh, if I step out of here, I would die. But it depends upon which origin you're going with. Because I know
That's
he
the
was
other thing. You
Yeah.
gotta talk about different
he
continuities
used
too.
to rob people, but then he went with the I want to save my wife.
Well, because there's one thing I always say when it comes to like DC is that when it comes to like their villains and even some of their heroes, a lot of them have this kind of, I guess you can call it rule. There's like some kind of like level playing field they all start with like that one bad day, and it's like, I know a lot of people try to act like, oh, you're one bad day away from becoming Joker, but it's like that's not really what it means. At least to me, it's like one bad day can change a person's life forever, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna go evil.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of like when it comes to DC, like one
Real
bad day.
Robin
make
didn't
you
go evil.
A hero.
Sauron, before you leave.
Dick
I don't know.
Grayson. Dick Grayson could have easily been evil.
Like anybody
Wow,
who
Aaron
says that
Cash looks
one
like
bad
garbage.
day can't make you a shitty person is never reached their 30s. Okay.
that face.
So yeah, no, he looks awful. But Sauron, before you leave, you can actually find Hush in this building right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's one of the inmates who got tore up pretty bad, or like they say he got tore up pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. I think he would be like they say he was a surgeon.
Yeah, I when I first played this game, like back in the day, I'm pretty sure I 100% maybe not the DLC, but I'm pretty sure I found like most or all the secrets you could find. Because most of the secrets you had to like, they were like Riddler trophies, and I know I took down Riddler in this before.
I have never once taken down Riddler.
Me neither.
No.
It's not worth it.
I didn't even bother doing it in Arkham Knight either because I was like, you mean tell me I got to do all this shit to get the actual full ending? I was like, I'm just
Riddle
going to
me
YouTube
this,
it.
Batman. Why is my asshole cleaner than most Americans? The day.
What?
What?
Too bad, Batman.
God.
Too bad. I'm the Riddler that tells you too much.
What was I gonna say before that threw me off?
He's just tells too much information. That's his entire thing. He just creeps Batman out.
What was it?
Not even an actual threat. It's just like
okay, so I kind of get that in a
Batman,
game where it's
I'm
like,
going to steal this hemorrhoid pillow because I have really bad hemorrhoids.
there he
so,
is.
but I
Wanna
can kind of
see
get that in
I'm
games.
like, you know what? Go ahead. You know, I'm good.
I can kind of get that in games where it's like they want you to complete the whole game to get the quote unquote true ending. Like I can kind of get that logic. However, it's like if
No
you're
one's
gonna
got
do
the
that,
time.
well, I won't say no one's got the time. If you're gonna do that, don't make it so arbitrary. Because some of those Riddler trophies are stupid to get. Like it's like you go through so much hassle, or you have to get like a certain gadget, and you don't realize you need a certain gadget until like later in the game, and then you have to go all the way back to it. It's like if you're gonna make it to where you have to 100% it, just make it like you have to just do the side quests. Like that's it. Just the side quests are the main
There's Hush.
the main thing you have to do.
Yeah.
Not not like all these side trophies and stuff.
He's holding onto Bruce Wayne's face.
My face.
Oh.
Give me back my face.
I hate it for what they've done to him. And
Oh,
nice.
Oh no.
Dark man
Oh, no.
vibes here.
Oh no. Oh no.
Just zip out. You can
Oh
zip out.
no.
I know, but this is still so funny to me.
Human organ
Batman.
for transplant?
Batman defeated by a
I am
random
justice. I am the knight. I am stuck behind this medic.
Punch him in the face.
Wow.
Like that. Like
There you go,
I
Batman.
stuck
That's
my
who's in your bat brain.
Societal politeness.
one thing I will say. Okay, so
I have to say excuse me to get him out of the way, but I'm Batman. I'm not polite.
yeah, that's one thing that always gets me about Batman. It's like, and it's one thing I know we were talking about the animated series earlier, and like to me, the animated series did the best job of like portraying him as a human being, because there's some iterations of him where it's like, I get you're trying to put on a face or like try to be the persona, but come on, man, like common courtesies, come on, like when he just disappears behind someone's back, I'm like, all right, I get you're trying to be mysterious, but Jim Gordon, he's in on it at this point, right?
That's
Come
my
on.
favorite thing. Have you seen that thing where he's standing in Gordon's office and Gordon's just staring at him? He's like, "What are you doing?" No. I'm sick of this. Every single time we finish conversation, I turn around to look out the window, all like mysteriously and wistfully, And then I turn around and you're gone in the middle of the conversation. We're not even done. So, no, I am not going to turn around until you walk out that door in front of me where I can see you. And Batman's just like, are you really going to do this? Yes, I'm really going to do this. They just stand there for several seconds, and Batman just like says, oh, hey, look, behind you, a monkey.
See, it's moments like that. It's like, to me, those are the kind of parodies and stuff I love. It's just like, it's so dumb, but it's like, to me, that's hilarious. Just like Gordon just being like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. You're walking out of here like a normal man. You're not. Yeah, I'm not falling for this shit.
It feels
again.
like, I was gonna say that feels like something that they might end up doing in that Harley Quinn show, the Batman show. That's very much like Venture Brothers.
Oh,
You know, it's funny.
I
I was
forgot that
gonna
was a
mention
thing.
even in that show, she's like hates kids. She's like kind of beat up a 14-year-old or tried to beat up a 14-year-old in that show.
I mean, who has?
So it's so
I mean-
fucking weird that the movies that the movies are so, oh, I love children. Don't hurt
Well, that's not
children.
even-
Dude,
because here's
she
really
fucking
what it
hates
was,
kids in
though.
every other version.
Like, it was literally all done for a joke, because, like, the guy was... I don't really want to spoil it. But at the same time,
Which
like,
one?
it's not really
The
much
Suicide Squad?
of a... The Suicide Squad, yeah. It's, like, the whole not killing children thing. Like, it's just... I don't really want to spoil it.
It's so weird. It's such a movie thing.
Mm.
Yeah, guys, if you got HBO Max, watch it, because I'm a James Gunn fan. Like, this feels like Super and Slither with $100 million budget.
yeah.
Super stars the guy from The Office running around with a wrench, like beating people with a wrench in a red superhero costume.
Get out! Get out!
Honestly, I like this because this is so funny because it's like Joker has this whole elaborate plan, and I feel like he gives you this extra time because he realizes if he doesn't, you. Oh, I waited too long. If he doesn't,
I told you to get out.
I forgot how long like you have. Like I forgot. Like I know you have longer than the countdown, but I forgot that like, you know how long that extra time really is.
Right.
But see, here's another thing. I played this game so many times. I'm not bothered by that. That game over. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I will say the game overs in the Arkham series have been some of my favorites.
Oh
Just
yeah, these
because
are.
like I can't think of really any game that's done anything like that.
There actually is
Will
one
it
on the.
let you jump out?
It'll let me jump out. I just gotta do the scan again and do the cutscene. But
There
that's
actually
one thing
is a
I've always loved.
PS2 game that has something similar, where the game
Oh,
over
that's an
screen is you being
eyeball.
brought to the villain. But the thing is, it happens even for deaths that really have nothing to do with him. So it's kind of weird. Like if you just fell off of a platform, you would still get that ending where it's like you're being brought to him, and he gets out of his chair and looks at you and laughs.
All right, let's get out of here. But that's one thing I always loved about even Arkham Asylum, City, Origins, Night. I've always liked that like game over, like unique game over screens and stuff like that because it's just like I don't know if it would count to the immersion because it's like why are you suddenly in a dark black room with your villain, but it to me it's just like. I don't know what the word is. It just was always so cool to me to see something like that. Yeah, it's fun.
Did you just forget the word for fun?
No, I didn't know if fun was the right word to use.
I mean, no, I'm not saying I would blame you considering the state of current media.
That's how
But,
long
like-
it's been. I've had fun in a long time. What is fun?
Fun is butchering the hobbits and stealing your ring back.
Fun
It's that
is
thing that
fun.
happens in your free time, which we also don't have.
Oh, I keep forgetting I don't have. Okay, so I remember this. What was it? I know, like in the
The
game,
grapnel
like,
boost.
yes, the grapnel boost, where it's like each game will introduce a new gadget, and then the next game essentially kind of starts you with the gadget for the most part, or at least you'll get it like kind of earlier than previously.
Yeah.
And this is like one of them where it's like the grapple boost, which is probably one of the better things, especially for the like just traveling around the map. And I keep forgetting you don't start with it in Arkham City. Oh, god damn it. God. Imagine a crook seeing Batman struggling to just get somewhere. Like, what is he doing? Because speak of the devil.
What was it say?
You can't get it. You need the passcodes, and you haven't gotten them yet.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the side quests right now because it's like I doubt we're gonna be on here long enough for that. But one thing I will say though is like I get why what's the one Origins. I get why it gets hate, but at the same time, I do think it gets a little overhated.
I do like how they changed his Batman's costume in that game, where it was more the. I know some people don't like the armored Batman look, but I like it. Just because it reminds you that, like, yeah, this guy doesn't have any powers, so he's got to protect himself.
Right.
I don't dislike the armored look. I think it depends on what story you're trying to tell. Like,
yeah,
and I didn't mind
honestly, pretty much anything with Batman can, like, a lot of the divisive things, like, especially one of the big things is the Bat family. And I'm pretty sure Sauron saw, like, I did that, like, answer thread of, like, opinions on Batman, and a lot of my answers could be summed up in it really just depends on the story you're trying to tell. Because Batman, to me, is just such a versatile character that you can tell almost any story with him. Is everybody going to like it? No. Chances are, any story you're going to tell, a lot of people are going to hate it. But you can tell that story, and it will make sense because Batman is the type of character you can make it make sense.
Well, because one thing I will say about the Arkham games, and I know it's like a different adaptation, but aside from like main comics and aside from like the animated series Batman, I do think this is one of my favorite versions of the character.
Yeah.
I think it what do you call it? I think it captures him pretty well in terms of like
I like that he actually is more of a detective in this than he's been in like any of the movies.
Oh my god, yes.
Like he feels like a much more fleshed out character. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that you get to control him. Mm-hmm. You get to visit like Crime Alley.
You get to be Batman
in a Batman game.
You get to feel like Batman. You get to feel like Batman's in you.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
That's the fan fiction, Soggy.
No, I'm gonna say you're inside Batman.
Yeah. Okay, so
moving on.
What you were saying about Origins.
Up in his Batman.
I'll admit that I did hate it at first, but did I outgrow my hatred for it? Yes. But the thing that I will stick to my guns of hating was the whole Joker was really Black Mask. It's like, I get it. Joker and Batman have this great rivalry that will last for all of eternity. But it's like, he has other rogues that he can fight against. And necessarily not every single Batman story needs to have the Joker in it. I mean, not until a few minutes ago, I got done watching Batman Gotham by Gaslight, and I liked it for how it was of doing the steampunk Batman fighting against Jack the Ripper. And once you see the identity of the Ripper, it's not even Joker. It's like, see, this is how you do a Batman story without having the Joker in it.
Well, let's be honest. It was never going to be Joker. Like, I guessed the twist like halfway through the movie. But honestly, and Gaslight Joker, I was a little bit disappointed that Gaslight Joker didn't show up at all because I thought Gaslight Joker is a really interesting version of the character. Very Leatherface.
See, the thing I have when it comes to adaptations, because I know I've said this before,
I'm
not a big fan.
Bong hit real fast. Oh wait, I mean, I'm gonna take a break real fast. I didn't mean to say bong hit. Damn it!
Well, like I said, I was just using Gotham by Gaslight as an example of not every single story needs to have the Joker in it.
Right, but one thing I was gonna say is that like one thing that kind of gets me is that when it comes to like a lot of these like what ifs, alternate stories and stuff like that, to me sometimes they don't like they don't go hard enough into like the what if aspect sometimes. And then when they because it's so tricky doing an adaptation because it's like I think like the whole like, oh, it's an alternate universe, you can kind of do whatever you want. To me, I think that excuse is kind of bullshit because it's like if it wasn't like, sure, it's an alternate universe, but if it wasn't too related to what you're familiar with, you probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. It's that like because it's similar to what you enjoy, but it's been altered so slightly. That's what makes it more enjoyable. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why this game was so successful is because it's like, even though it is different from like mainstay Batman or every other version of Batman, it still feels it still feels like Batman. It still feels like the character and the universe.
Yeah, like it's different, but it's like it's not like so different that that you'd have to be like, oh, it's an alternate continuity or something. And I do think that defense can get kind of annoying because it's like, okay, then why is the character like, especially if it's something like the character acts nothing like how they do in the source material.
Kind of like with I Am Starfire, everybody was like, "Oh, it's an alternate universe." I'm like,
that doesn't exist. I don't know.
I am what? Huh?
Well, because here's my thing. It's like because one of my least favorite adaptations of any DC story. I'm not saying it's the worst. It's one of my least favorite. Is what do you call it? Injustice. Because at a certain point, like I get that there's an alternate universe. In order for certain events of the story to take place, certain characters have to like, kind of be different from their initial.
Yeah.
Really, the only characters I found that acted differently from their basics were Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman. Yeah, but when you read the comic of it, it's like. So I'll get into it. Granted, I haven't read as much.
I haven't read the comics. I've only played the game.
A good bit of the comics.
Well, even the game, I think it's more egregious. Well, let me put it this way. I think it's worse. It's more acceptable in the game because of the fact that like it's just a game. You're not really like it's a fighting game. You're not that invested into the stories of fighting games, at least in my opinion. Sometimes, but not all the time.
Right.
But it's like at some point, when do these characters like they no longer are the characters that they're meant to be? Like Wonder Woman, for example, is probably the best example in that entire game. She is nothing like Wonder Woman, and it's like, at what point is it no longer Wonder Woman the character?
Right.
Like, at what point is this no longer like? Can you accurately call this character Wonder Woman?
No.
And I feel like the same thing with like what's his name? Superman, for example. Like the idea that Superman would turn into a freaking dictator solely because he lost his family and city is stupid. Like, I'm not saying that's a loss that anyone can just walk away from, the same person, but come on, man. Like,
I do think okay, I get him snapping and killing Joker. That's fine.
Yeah,
and
maybe I understand.
Maybe he's like, okay, fuck it, I'm killing criminals now. Like, he's not, he's like more brutal towards criminals or something.
Right.
But like, I feel like there needs to be more to provoke him to become
a dictator.
That much of a dictator.
That sounds a little.
The whole thing was he, and I understand why people didn't like this. I personally am an Injustice fan, even the comics, and I like, the way I see it is he wanted to put a stop to suffering on Earth, and a lot of suffering is just due to the way people are to each other. And so, I mean, in order to stop that suffering, to stop war and starvation and whatnot, he basically forced people to stand down. He basically placed himself as God. And, once you put yourself in a God position, your ego is going to grow and you're going to take worse and worse measures in order to maintain your control. And that's kind of what ended up happening, is just he ended up spiraling and just getting worse and worse. And I think when Lois died, or rather when he killed Lois, something in him broke, and he just, he's now no longer sane. He's just plain insane.
Well, because one thing I have with Injustice, and I think this may come from reading the comic over just this game, is that like in the comic, like it's not really his decision to become a dictator. It like kind of is, but a lot of it comes from Wonder Woman pretty much egging him on, saying, "Hey, do it, do it, do it. Be a dictator. Do it. You're a god." And at first, he's like, again in the comic, he's like, he kills the Joker, and honestly, he does do a couple of other things. Like he does get a bit more aggressive. Like I think he flies to some war zone and basically just destroys the enemy's like tanks and weapons and stuff, and just says, "Stop it." But it's like, that's fine. But the whole dictator thing, he basically just kind of like, again, he gets egged on by Wonder Woman. It doesn't feel like his decision. It feels like it doesn't feel natural for him to reach this conclusion as a character. And again, it goes back to, well, Wonder Woman's egging him on. It's like, yeah, but that's out of character for Wonder Woman. Mm. So it all kind of, and again, I hate, and because you're not wrong to say like it's an alternate universe, because technically that is the reasoning, that is the excuse. However, it's like it gets so tiring hearing that, like, oh, just accept it because it's an alternate universe. It's like, no, because look at this, for example. Like, this is an alternate universe, but it's still pretty accurate to what the character is.
Well, yeah, with the multiverse theory, I mean, there's an infinite number of realities with, infinite versions of everybody. And so, I mean, everything's going to be a little bit different, and some of those changes are going to be big, some of those changes are going to be small. You're not going to like every single version, and pretty much every argument I've heard against Injustice has been 100% valid. I've actually agreed with it. And this is coming from somebody who legitimately loves Injustice. I just think it's one of those things you're just going to have to always agree to disagree on.
Well, I want to know because I never played the game, so I touched the comics, but
the game was fun. I mean, the story was fine. I'm not going to say it was, great or anything, but it's like for what it was trying to do, it's like, yeah, it was fine.
I think
the thing that makes me mad is I think the story did a lot of really good stuff, like making Harley a hero after or anti-hero after Joker dying. I think that was a good idea, but the only reason I liked it was because it hadn't really been done. Not at least so prevalently. And then now, after that was somewhat successful, DC's just like, oh yeah, this is going to be her as a character now. And it's like, no, the reason it was good is because it was different. Now that's all it is, and it's just infuriating.
I will give them credit because, like, the guy who wrote it, what's his name? Tom Taylor. I don't like his writing. I don't. I think he's a bit overrated, and I think a lot of his stuff is just not as good as a lot of people hype it up to be. But I will say he at least, as much as I'm not a big fan of Harley going all anti-hero, even in Injustice, because to me, I don't think just because the Joker isn't there, she would just become a better person.
Well, I will say really just Joker, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in the comic, it builds up more of it. It's not like her losing Joker is still the catalyst, but it's not the reason, and I will give him credit for that. However, I feel like ever since then, a lot of people kind of just, because that was the catalyst, a lot of people kind of jumped from that. Like, oh, if it wasn't for the Joker, she would be a better person. It's like, no, because even in that comic, that's not the sole reason. There's more to it than that.
Well, she's still a horrible person after Joker dies, and she's still, actively doing crimes until, Green Arrow brings her in, and it's mostly Oliver that kind of gets it. He offers her essentially another chance. And even if it's just kind of like the opportunity, even if all it is he just talks to her like a person. And like after Oliver dies, then she has Dinah that she kind of relates to, and both of them,
my goodness,
on each other.
Oh man, and then like freaking the whole thing with Ollie. That's another thing that really bothers me, and this is more in the comic. It's like, so there's like certain events in the game that get referenced that are supposed to be like the triggering moments that kind of set the triggering moment that set Superman off was the destruction of Metropolis. However, there are a couple of other moments where it's kind of like cemented him as a villain, and you don't really get to see those moments unless you read the comic. One of them is the death of Green Arrow. Like they say he murders him, and at first it's like the game presents it as he tried to talk Superman down and he killed him, and I was like, that's a dick move. I don't really see
that is a
Superman
dick
doing
move.
that. But
I mean, he did that to Shazam, yeah.
Right, but here's the thing: in the comic, it's kind of dumber because there's like a whole, not to get too spoilerish, and not to try to drown it out because it's a lot to explain. But basically, Superman, he's kind of taking the turn of a dictator, and the U.S. government is kind of like, all right, we got to do something to kind of put him in check because we can't really do anything else against him. And what they do is they kidnap his parents, Ma and Pa Kent. And what ends up happening is the Kents are straight up like, this is crazy. Why is he going all dictator? But
just a second.
At some point, Batman is trying to create these Kryptonian pills, which is basically the reason why they're able to do the super powered feats in the game. And Ollie, in order to try to make sure he gets it,
doesn't Alfred take one of those too?
Yeah, but that's a little bit later though. He tries to distract Superman, and so what he does is he shoots
it's just an arrow.
Yeah, he shoots him with
an arrow.
No,
he shoots an arrow at Superman, and it bounces off Superman and lands in Pa Kent's shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, he takes a shot at him, and then he tries to attract him, and Superman takes that. Oh, you're trying to kill my dad, and he starts beating him to death. And I'm like, Superman, what are you doing? Come on, man! You've known Green Arrow for years. If he was trying to shoot somebody, he wouldn't just hit him in the shoulder. He would hit them. This is Green Arrow we're talking about.
I do think one big thing about it is the fact that it wasn't just Green Arrow there. Batman and his entire resistance had basically broken into the Fortress of Solitude, which at the time they didn't realize that Superman was keeping his parents there. Now, as soon as they realized that, Batman immediately, pulled everybody out. But before he could pull everybody out, Superman arrived, and so it was kind of they were kind of screwed there. But yeah, I mean, the main thing was, it was because Batman had essentially come there with an army, and so Superman kind of saw that and just reacted. And the whole thing is, Superman has lost really his ability to reason, and he's just reacting.
Yeah. We'll change the subject because we're talking about injustice and we're sitting playing Arkham.
Yeah. So the Batman, who's
the Batman?
What are people thinking about that?
All right, guys, it's simple. We kill the Batman.
I was referring to the Robert Pattinson movie. What are our thoughts on that?
Oh Lord,
I saw the trailer and I was just kind of like, eh.
I don't know about that one.
Real.
I'll give it a try. I'm not gonna immediately discount it just because it's Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah, no, I don't hate Robert Pattinson. I'm just
I don't have any beef with Pattinson. I have superhero fatigue really bad. So
yeah,
neither do I. But I'm a guy who wants a freaking Lobo movie. I'm sick and tired of Batman films. Give me a freaking Lobo movie. The main man needs a film.
See, the thing about a lot of these superhero characters is that they only pick the characters they think are marketable. And the thing about Lobo is that because it's kind of like a paradox where because he's never had a film, they can't really gauge if he's marketable. And because Hollywood is so against
taking risks
nowadays, it's the likelihood of ever seeing a Lobo movie is just going to keep dropping, especially if the Batman does really well. The only time they'll do something like that with a character is if they kind of run out of ideas. And the problem is Batman, even the worst iterations of Batman still sell.
Who
people
knows?
like
Maybe they
Batman.
could just make Lobo into a ginger, and they could just do the whole change thing. I don't know.
Oh, God. Let's not. Honestly, though, like, let James Gunn have a hand at Lobo. I think he could do it.
Honestly, if you do a Lobo movie, I feel like if they do one, it should be like
Robert Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino.
I wouldn't
Didn't
say.
Quentin Tarantino retire from making movies now or something?
No, he still
What
has
is-
one more to do.
What more? Sorry, I couldn't
I,
remember.
I
I
think-
still really want to see him do his Star Trek.
I think Robert Rodriguez would be a better fit, and I think if they
Oh,
do
I
it,
would.
it
I
needs to
think he
be-
would do a good job with that.
It needs to be like a grindhouse,
Mhm.
like
that-
80s movie.
And that's what Lobo can be. A grindhouse film of him just practically beating the snot out of the scumbag throughout the galaxy. And who knows, maybe you do a teaser to where it's like, oh, a new target. And you see the hologram projection of it being the Blue Boy Scout, meaning Superman.
Oh yeah, because that's a thing. Because he goes after Superman because he's like one of the few people who's like he's not as strong as Superman, but he's strong enough, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And who could be the main man? Jason Momoa. I'll give him credit for that. The dude can actually look like him. All you just have to do is put the white makeup on him, give him the meat hook.
I feel like they
Weapon.
probably wouldn't cast him since they've already got him as Aquaman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say because he is a good fit,
True.
even from
You know
appearance wise,
who-
but
Just based off of appearance, who I could kind of see as Lobo is Winston Duke.
Winston Duke. Who the?
yeah, but I don't even know who that is off the top of my head.
The main things that I know he's been in is Spencer Confidential and Black Panther. He was M'Baku, and he was Hawk in Spencer Confidential.
Is that the dude that had the rhinos in Black Panther?
No, that's Daniel Kaluuya.
I just remember the EFAB thing with the rhino milk meme. With that was so fucking
No,
funny.
so he was the like,
that's
if
the
you've
dude
seen
that had the
Black
cloak shields.
Yeah, he
No.
had the cloak shield.
Yeah,
the
that
rhino
was-
milk.
yeah,
The
that's
rhino dude
Daniel.
had the cloak shield.
That's the Rhino.
Okay.
You the guy who I'm talking about, Winston Duke. That's he played M'Baku. He played the man ape.
Yeah, that's the one that
Oh, okay.
had T'Challa's body after he got his ass kicked
Yeah.
by Killmonger.
Yeah, he's
Okay, I can see that working too.
Oh, you talking about the Gorilla King guy?
yeah.
Mhm.
Which you know, it makes sense that they'd kind of downplay that in retrospect.
Okay, I'm not one of those people that calls things racist, but it's like that was a little uncomfortable. It's like this dude is straight up making gorilla noises.
Well, I mean, in the comics,
Well,
that's what
in
he
comics,
is. He's
he
basically
is-
a gorilla
Yeah.
man.
Think if Black Panther, but instead of like Panther powers, he had gorilla powers. That's M'Baku.
I get it. I'm just like it's just like the description of that. Like if you say that to someone without any context, a bunch of African dudes walk in making gorilla noises.
Oh,
Like people would think you were being racist as shit. And it's like, no, that actually happens in the movie. I swear,
So-
I'm not doing that to insult people or anything. It's like, no, this actually is in the movie.
No, so I actually had
Huh?
an entire
crap.
concept.
And I
Oh.
actually was laughing because I actually
Yeah.
was trying not to laugh in the
I
theater
wasn't
when it
looking.
happened because I was like, yo, is he dead ass making gorilla noises right now?
So what I actually did once as a project is I put together like a 36 film long concept for a actual DC cinematic universe, and I have like some of the casting choices that I've kind of cemented, but obviously not everything was going to be working because I actually had Chadwick Boseman
come
as my
on.
pick to play Azrael, but obviously that's not going to happen for reasons.
That
Yeah,
was bullshit.
unfortunately.
He did.
Thank you, Soggy. Yes.
Oh, I'm
He's,
sorry. Sorry.
There you go.
Nah, it's fine.
Wow. I'm.
It's not fine, obviously, but he did comment is fine.
Like, how do you react to that? Like,
I mean, I think we all did a pretty good job for that kind of reaction. Like,
Sean, yeah, Pain that guy.
I think
He's going to
my
become
favorite thing about that is like you could see the moment when Soggy remembered this was all being live streamed.
Yeah, it's like the vote when you forgot your live stream.
I know we're not monetized, but YouTube just demonetized us.
No, Susan just deranked you in the algorithm even more.
No, it's more like, oh, wait, who's that? Wait, hold on a sec. Susan, no. Susan, no. No, I was just kidding. She was just playing. No, Susan. No.
I'm kind of convinced that, and I know this is going to sound weird, and everyone says this, I'm kind of convinced that my channel gets throttled because of the name. I'm convinced it's because of the name.
What's its name?
Well, I mean, it's what I use to say the Edgy Penguin, so I'm pretty sure the word edgy in the name is just, no, we're going to derank you.
Well, because
I
like,
don't fucking know.
Rosie, what are you doing?
because what was that time we were on like Slim?
Oh, you talking about the stream where we had the Lola Bunny thumbnail?
The
Yeah,
Lola
and
Bunny.
like, they
Isn't that
took
the
it
first
down.
stream you were on, Soggy,
Yeah,
too?
Yes,
Coincidence, I
so
think not.
that's why we have the
No.
joke that. That's why we have the joke that Susan hates women.
All right, come on.
Yeah, that was like the first
That
stream
guy's
she
not
was
coming
on, and
underneath
like
you,
an hour
Sauron.
in.
Yeah, I know.
Susan
wait,
nuked it.
Spoke too soon. Gotcha.
How does he prevent all the blood from rushing to his
Um,
head doing that?
Oh, because he's Batman?
I
He
guess.
doesn't.
He has
It
like
gets him off.
he just controls his blood pressure through sheer force of will.
No. The suit.
Wait
The
a
suit
minute.
has a blood
Didn't
pumping
they
system
find
in it.
David Carradine dressed as Batman when he autoerotic asphyxiated himself?
Yeah, they did. It was someone that did that.
Oh god, guys, I just thought of how he actually stops the blood from
I
rushing to his
forgot you
head.
can do that. Sorry, I forgot you can do that. Where
Oh
you,
yeah, you can do that.
Guys,
you can just straight up like.
How was he
Like
not
it,
dead
like
from
it.
that fall at that angle?
he just thinks about Catwoman.
We,
Remember, Batman has how
He just
many
punched that guy
girlfriends
in-
off the
He just
side?
punched that guy in the
You just punched that guy in the dick.
Okay, fine. He thinks about Catwoman and Vicky Vale at the same time.
Well,
And
you also
maybe
gotta
Talia,
remember
maybe
this.
Talia al Ghul
Vicky
too.
Vale and
He's got a whole-
Catwoman combined into one.
No,
he's
no,
got
no,
a
no,
whole
no, no.
hair.
I didn't
Ra's
say
al
combined
Ghul?
into one.
Oh yeah.
Talia. Oh,
Talia al Ghul.
oh god.
No,
I can already
Ra's
see
al
the
Ghul.
gears-
No,
I can already
Ra's
see
al
the
Ghul
gears
and
turning.
Batman
Sluggy's gonna
banged.
write a
Remember
fiction.
that?
Nope, that is not what happened here.
Well, it really happened.
It did what
Ra's
now?
al Ghul really did bang Batman. Ra's
Wasn't
al
he,
Ghul
like-
switched brains
No.
and bodies with his own daughter and seduced
He did.
Batman.
He didn't bang
Is
her
that
though.
actually what happened?
No, that is not what happened. He kissed her,
Yes.
but he did not bang her. All right.
Close
There
enough.
is
No
Okay.
banging.
It's cartoon implied banging. It's cartoon implied banging. Kind of
Alright,
like they cartoon
Right.
implied Terry banged that ace girl from the Jack of Spades gang.
See, now you're reaching like Slim levels where he's like convinced that the Fiona's father was like cucked by an ogre or something. and
That's
it's
not.
Yeah, that
He's
one
like
is like
reached.
going too far.
Like, he's like, I'm
That's
like,
not a reach. That is canon, and I will not accept it as.
Yeah,
a
that is a bit of a stretch.
Slim's like, yeah, why did she turn into an ogre? Like, where did that come from? And it's like,
She's cursed.
I was like, she's cursed. And he's like,
Right.
yeah, but they never
It's
go into the
cursed?
details of it. And I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure they did not write this movie with the idea that,
Of cucking.
yeah, like that was.
I honestly would not put it past Shrek, though. I mean, think about the fact that the main villain of the first movie is literally just F-Wad.
Dude.
Which I'm
Yeah,
the only reason I
F-Wad,
said
yeah,
that is because I'm
F-Wad.
Guys, she turns into an ogre because he was a frog all along. He wasn't even human. He was under magic. So that really makes sense for her not to be human either.
Wait, what if
Magic
the dad?
bullshittery.
Wait, what if the dad was cursed before that and
I
got
think
with
he
the mom
was.
while in?
He
ogre-
was! He
ogre
was a
form?
frog
I think-
prince!
I
He
think that's
was
what
a frog prince!
Uh-huh.
he made a deal with the fairy godmother, and like the deal was basically I think like turn into a human.
The frog
then,
prince. Yep.
Yeah, and then like part of the stipulation was that like
Your daughter gets cursed.
yeah, but the only way to break it is to essentially marry her son. Like that was like the thing. It wasn't necessarily true love. It was supposed to just be, they marry each other. That's kind of the what breaks the curse.
An arrangement.
Which is
right?
why Shrek got really uncomfortable when he saw Fiona's old journal and everything was about Prince Charming. He's just like, oh shit. He's just kind of like, ah shit.
Oh,
I gotta compete with that.
So he's like, I'm insecure. And so to be fair, I don't know how you couldn't be after reading that. Like real talk, Shrek. I don't know how you couldn't be, man, after reading that. To find out that the girl you like is like, oh yeah, she was supposed to be engaged to this other dude. Do they eventually cut through the door?
No, they're trying to seal him in.
Oh.
This is one of those games where it's like they have details, but the details only go so far.
Because I forgot if they were trying to cut the door open or... Because that'd be just funny. You just sit there and just wait for them to cut the door open, and then they open it, expecting you, and it's like, he's not in here.
Oh my... I would love a game to... Well, they kind of do that with the bomb, where it's like, the game pretty much makes fun of you, where it's like, oh, you're going to sit here and just wait for the bomb to go off? Well, it's still going to go off. Kind of like what happened to me, where I'm sitting there like, oh, the bomb's... It's not going to go off immediately. It's like, yeah, it's not going to go off immediately. It's still going to go off, though, and kill you.
It's like, really, dude?
See, I'm kind of playing... I'm playing this without the sound. Well, I know the sound playing, but I can barely hear it, and it's like... There's a lot of moments where I'm like, I'm pretty sure if I could hear what was being said, I'd probably know exactly where to go. But right now, I'm kind of like, where do I go?
Well,
Remember
when we did pantomime Dead Space? Remember when we did like sound effects for Dead Space?
See, the thing about Dead Space is I played that game so many times, like I could play it with my eyes closed. I wouldn't try it, but I've played it enough times to be able to do that. This game, not so much.
Tonka. I'm doing sound effects. Tonka.
I was like, what is she doing?
She certainly is.
Scream!
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Black Mask, I just noticed this.
Sionis Industries, yeah.
Sionis Industries. I just
Is this
realized
the first time you noticed this? That was like the first thing I noticed while playing this game.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when...
I can't do it.
Well, you're the one with the Black Mask PFP, all right? It's nobody's surprised at that.
Well, that's because...
I'm a green man made out of clay. Nobody expects anything of me.
Well, that's because even though I do like the Joker, but I do like some of the other rogues of Batman's gallery that hardly get used. I mean, the last time Black Mask was any type of Batman entertainment besides Arkham Origins was the 2004 Batman series that almost nobody watched other than me.
You talking about the Batman?
Yeah, the 2004 series.
The Korean one?
No.
No.
The
Batman.
The one where they
the
had
one that ended up
intro.
having the movie where he... Yeah, it was the...
Where he fights against Dracula.
Batman.
Yeah. I watched.
I'm talking about the one with the weird Joker with the dreadlocks.
Yeah, I love
that one.
They really tamed
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. It had like a Korean art director behind it, or a character designer. That's why I call it the Korean one.
Checks out.
Oh well, I mean, they used to do a lot with a lot of the shows back in the day, where it's like the reason why a lot of the animation looked so good was because they straight up like had like anime and like people who do that kind of style working on the stuff. It's why a lot of shows back in those like early 2000s, mid 2000s, like Teen Titans, for example, I wouldn't call it an anime, but you can see the influence.
Right.
Oh, there's an anime episode. There's a whole episode that is just the weird tofu delivery episode. I saw that one like I think they
wear their
like they
on their sleeves.
Yeah.
And I think
and they rub it in your face.
I think if you look at the credits for Teen Titans, you can tell like I want to say like part of it was animated in Japan too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would explain why they had the Puffy Ami Yumi
It was
song.
a Japanese co-production. It was a Japanese co-production.
Which I do find it funny in the movie where they went to Japan, they actually have Beast Boys singing the theme song to the show. Like I was like, that is such a nice touch. It's so funny.
You know,
that's such a nice detail.
In hindsight, it actually makes sense that the movie took place in Tokyo.
It really does.
Like, if like the influence came from Tokyo and Japan and all that jazz.
Well, and also promotions with Cartoon Network in Japan. Think of that too.
You know, I'm kind of surprised they didn't get another movie.
Bumpers.
I think they only got that one movie. Well, I don't know. Probably because when the show ended.
Yeah, that was pretty much the end of the show. Like, I think it was the last thing produced. And I think a lot of people wanted another season.
Because I remember the ending where it's like they got
Sauron, you
all
can't
these
get up
characters
there. You
now
have
in the
to
Teen
use the
Titans.
charger thing to get the hook to destroy the office.
Yeah, but it's again like I'm not playing with a lot of sound, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of like.
Well, just remember, come to me to ask for the assistance, because remember, I was playing the game a lot earlier before, like a week and a half ago, so.
I just want to point out how well animated Batman's cape is. Like I'm
for real.
It is.
That's pretty damn good.
And I think every now and then I'm like, oh my god, the amount of coding that went into that must have been so painful. And but it's really well animated. It's got like its own personality.
Oh, I forgot. There was that you talk about the cape. That reminds me. One of the things I love about this game, and I wish more games would do it, is that as the story progresses,
the cape gets more jacked up.
Not just the cape, his entire suit. With
yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot about this.
They did that in Arkham Knight too, and I liked how
they did that in all of the Arkham games.
Yeah,
I think
Arkham
they did.
Knight,
yeah,
Arkham Asylum. However, in Arkham Asylum, it was more like. I mean, it's not dynamic.
Vacation.
Arkham Vacation. I don't think you'd want a vacation in Arkham. Just saying.
Not if you're.
Well, I think like in all of the games, like that's something that happens. I think in Arkham City, it became more like
Arkham Vacation.
I don't want to say dynamic.
It should.
I don't want to say dynamic, but
the Bat family on a cruise ship with all their rogues gallery somehow.
Jesus, I'm getting my ass kicked. What do you call it? Like
Batman doesn't have his full suit; he just has swim trunks and his utility belt and the mask. Instead of the cape, he uses a towel.
Oh my god!
Instead of the cape, he has a towel that he uses to glide around. He's like tied to his back.
And don't forget the Alfred DLC.
I remember there was a mod for Arkham Knight where you could play as Alfred. It was hilarious watching Alfred leap around tackling people.
Where did they even get the model for that?
I'm just picturing like Bruce Wayne coming back on this cruise, okay, and then he's got like a tan line from the bat mask, and still nobody like.
Nobody questions it.
Nobody questions.
I had to remind myself how to fight this guy.
I do like that the Batman has moves where he uses the cape. Because when you think about it, if you flick a cape at someone's face, they're disoriented.
Yeah.
Well, because the whole point about like, I know a lot of people like to say like, oh, superheroes shouldn't wear capes. It's like,
I mean, yeah, they shouldn't because
Batman is like his cape is actually like it has a purpose.
It does have a function.
It helps him fly. It helps him in combat.
Dude,
stuff like that.
It has a ton of purposes.
Not to mention, in some versions, it's like bulletproof or something, or bullet resistant.
Well, fire resistant if you remember from the Joel Schumacher film.
Yeah.
But one thing I was gonna say about the battle damage is that like I don't remember if it did it in Asylum, but I know everything after City, like City onward, the damage was like specific. Like this, for example, he got shot by Two-Face. Now he has a bullet hole where he got shot.
Yeah.
In Arkham Origins, when he fights Deathstroke, post-fight, his gauntlets are covered in sword slash marks. In Arkham Knight, when Gordon shoots him, and when Arkham Knight shoots him, he has a bullet hole in like the specific spots. I don't know if Asylum does it, where it's like specific events triggered the damage, but it's still a nice detail regardless.
I know when the one I really liked in Night was when I forget who shoots you. Somebody shoots you and you fall off a building, and it's like the bat symbol. Gordon shoots you, and you have like the cracked bat logo.
Yeah. Yeah, because Gordon of all people were going to betray Batman. That was such a effective twist. Yeah, I totally bought that one. Sorry,
I gotta
Batman.
say,
Gordon.
It was a little bit weird for me playing that scene because I was wearing the Adam West suit at the time, and he was like tapping on it. He's just like, "See, it's bulletproof." I'm like, "No, the hell, it's not."
Oh yeah, I forgot because Arkham. I know this game does it too. Actually, I'm gonna see because this should have all of the costumes. Maybe But
Yeah, Arkham
know-
City has all the costumes that they have available, because I know during my gameplay, I had the Batman Beyond suit, and I know recently with the Arkham Knight, I'm using the Batman Beyond suit that they have for that game.
yeah, I was gonna say because I know these games introduce. They have like the different suits, and I know Knight like even includes like the different Batmobiles. Which, say what you will about the Batmobile in that game, I do think that is a cool enough detail. But
The
It's
issue
I know,
is
like,
with the
Batmobile's
Batmobile
design.
skins, you could only use the race car form.
Whoa.
You couldn't use
Yeah.
the tank.
Yeah, that was the only
That was dumb.
problem.
yeah, and one thing that was really weird though to me is like what do you call it? Yeah, so in the early Arkham games, I know in this one, like the Batman Beyond suit is basically like it's just a suit on a muscular Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
Which it looks kind of weird, but you know, it's like that's kind of what it would look like. However, in Arkham Knight, it's
it's
body
like
armor.
tactical Batman.
It is a completely redesigned thing.
It's like
it's
tactical
not Batman
Batman.
Beyond at all. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mind the suit because I do think the suit looks really, really cool.
I just think they shouldn't
It's
have called
just
it Batman Beyond.
why-
They should have called it something
yeah,
else.
like even if they had called it like Batman Beyond Prototype or something, that would have been fine. But
Well,
because
same
that's
here,
honestly
but
what it looks like.
There you
And
go.
it wasn't
guys,
personally.
he
if they
wears
had done-
the Terry suit in episode 1. When
Yeah, I know.
that's the suit he's wearing when he gets hurt.
Yeah,
Well, see,
but
that's the
we're
thing,
talking
it's
about
not
like
So
Arkham Knight suit.
he
That's
did
not
have
that
the suit himself.
No, we're talking about
Oh.
like how in Arkham,
What is this?
Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. I don't remember if it's in Origins. It might be, but like
It's not.
they have very distinct like looks to them, and it's like it kind of makes sense in City and Night. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it just looks so jarring because it looks so different compared to what
Oh,
most people are used to with
it
that
kind
suit.
of looks like they tried
I
to make
personally
Batman the
would've-
Arkham Knight, but like with red. More
Eh,
reddish armor in some
no,
ways.
It looks very different from Arkham Knight, but I do.
It
see
kind of
where
reminds me. I think it's like with
comparisons.
the chest area. Kind of reminds me of that armor.
Yeah. And so, fun fact, I actually had a theory that before Arkham Knight came out, I heard a lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be Azrael, oh, it's going to be Jason Todd. They tried so hard to pretend it wasn't going to be Jason Todd. but-
They made it so freaking obvious too. That's the thing I
Yeah,
hated
right,
about.
like,
it.
there's
I was thinking it's a
nobody
red
else
herring,
that.
isn't it?
I knew it
And-
was going to be Jason.
yeah,
I was thinking they were gonna. I was like, it can't be
Oh,
that obvious, right? It's gonna be a red herring, right?
I was
Hey, guys,
thinking
well-
there was. Go ahead, sir.
While I'm still here, I was gonna say Sauron, Edgy, and Orc Girl. I'm so sorry that I have not done another RPG podcast in the last few weeks.
That's cool.
It's been due to personal reasons,
You're
and
good.
I'll try
It's
to
all good.
plan one out. Yeah, because I know it just I've been in a weird mood lately.
I've been super busy. I've had
Same.
all kinds of shit going on, so don't worry about it. You know, you gotta deal. You gotta do you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I plan once I come back. I'll come back with a vengeance and try to help you guys. And try to help you guys. I think I'm gonna have to figure out how to keep you guys on track a little bit better, so we can get the plot moving.
We
Because
do.
there
We
are
do
just
kind of
times where
railroad. We do
everyone
kind of
is
just go all over the place.
Yeah, but that's the charm.
That's the charm.
It's just
And
chaos.
it turns into a bunch of people. I'm gonna make a player character called Prudence. That's,
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Oh, there we go.
So I was thinking, I had thought it was a possibility that Arkham Knight could be Damian Wayne or possibly Terry McGinnis.
Okay, so here's the thing I have
Ooh.
problem with the Arkham Knight reveal. Because like I don't necessarily mind that it's like Jason Todd. My problem is that they tried so hard to the devs tried so hard to pretend that this was a completely new and original character.
When
And it's
nobody
like-
thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
Well, they
and
said it
they're
though.
not
They were
going
like,
to
it's
be
not.
like,
They said
oh,
it was not. They said it was going to be an original character, like a new.
I remember
That's
specifically.
the thing, though. Like, as
I
long
don't know
as they were
whose video
saying
it
that,
was. What was it?
every
It was
single
stuff-
person was like, they're not going to have the titular character,
Titular.
character. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if that was too inappropriate. They're not going to have the booby-related character be a completely original character. They're going to have somebody with some history, even if they give him a new identity, which, let's be honest, the Arkham Knight was a really cool design and character.
Yeah, it was. I really liked his design.
So here's my thing: is that like
I liked the art. I liked the Red Hood suit that he had at the end of the main game. I liked that a lot better than the suit he actually had in his DLC.
I think what it was is that because here's my thing. I remember when the game was coming out, and one of the I might be paraphrasing, or I might be remembering this wrong, but I could have sworn one of the points, like basically they were saying how like a lot of people forget like Harley Quinn was not a comic book character originally. She was exclusive to the animated show, and then she became a mainstay character. And so I believe that was like their like philosophy behind the Arkham Knight was saying like, oh, it's like, it's not like this hasn't happened before. And to their credit, that is true. And I don't think anyone would really be opposed to that. However,
but they marketed it as a main villain.
They tried so hard to just, I think someone even called them out, like, is it Jason Todd? And they were straight up, no, it's not Jason Todd. And like, dude, it's okay if it's Jason Todd. Like, we're not going to be mad about it. If it's Jason Todd, just say it. But it's not Jason Todd. It's like, you're sure. We're sure it's not Jason Todd. And then the game comes out, it's Jason Todd, and everyone's just like, we knew this was coming. You didn't have to lie to us. No one was going to care.
Yeah, and even though we knew it was going to be Jason, I had this one theory that maybe it could have been one of the staff from one of the family members that lost their loved one during the first game, saying that since Batman was too late to save them, that could be a good enough hatred to saying, okay, we're gonna kill the Bat.
See, I've always hated.
Yeah, I was about to say he's having a seizure.
I've always hated that type of trope. It's like, oh, you didn't save them, so you're responsible for the death.
Yeah, I hate that thought process.
Yeah, that's true, but seeing as how
to me.
True,
like I can understand them wanting to like kill the person that actually killed their loved ones, but wanting to kill the person that failed to save their loved ones.
Yeah,
it's just
this is why, guys. There's the one scene for when it comes to the gardens. Like there's Joker holding that one security guy by the neck, and he's like, "Stop!" But everyone's dying to see what I do next, and he drops him in after he kicks a power box in, and the dude dies. It's like right there could have been saying that, oh, the dude had he had a younger brother who was in the military, found out that Batman didn't save him in time, and seeing as how he's dealing with all this grief and pain, Joker is dead, he can't take his revenge out on the Joker. Maybe there could be some way as to saying, you didn't save my brother in time, so you got to pay the price. I know that sounds stupid, but it's like, hey, at least that would have been could have been
a decent idea if it had been if it were like they were related to a character that had some sort of significance, like maybe if Aaron Cash died. But like if it was just some random security guard that we knew nothing about, like yeah, it sucks because that guy probably had a family,
True, but that's why I thought they'd do that's why instead of doing the whole Jason Todd flashbacks, we would have had done detective work about some of the clues maybe the guy left behind. Or I had this one theory that, who knows? Maybe it could have been a relative or a loved one that knew Penelope Young. That could have
would have been a really good way to tie it into.
It could have been a pretty fun way to fuck with everyone who thought it was Jason Todd. Have the game make you think it's Jason the whole time, and it turns out, and then do something. This would be dumb, but it would be kind of funny. It's like, no, it's not Jason. It's his brother. It's his brother, and he's
Jason's brother. What was his name again? I know nothing about him.
I don't even know if Jason Todd actually has a brother. I don't.
No,
remember.
He doesn't.
Doesn't he? Oh,
no, he only has a mom that I think is a crack addict or a prostitute, one of the two.
She used to be. She was a doctor.
But kind of going off with the Penelope Young thing, it's like right there, Batman had his backlaw, and since he didn't pull that out in time, that right there, that could be motivation to someone saying you didn't save them in time. You gotta pay.
I think the problem with the Arkham Knight is that like a character like that kind of needs a connection to Batman, and it's kind of
because they know his tactics and stuff. So it's like he'd have to be someone
True,
that Batman has, that has at least been trained by Batman.
And then it's like you could pick
What
like
could have
some.
been Hush.
Oh, what the hell? Why did it do that? Oh, I forgot I'm not playing as Batman. That's why.
Yeah, Hush would have been an interesting one.
Oh, way to go,
Just
Sauron.
get shot immediately. Good
I
job.
know.
Oh God, I forgot. Like
You're
it's
dead.
one of the things
You
where
were
it's
going
like
to die.
He's dead.
No, never say die.
You're dead.
Die.
Dead.
I'm dead.
Dead.
Gonna
Dead.
die.
Dead.
Get
Dead.
some
Dead.
diamond claws.
Definitely
Don't say
gonna
die.
die.
Dead.
Hey, look,
Get
we
some
were
diamond
correct.
claws.
You should have backed off.
I tried
told
to,
you.
but I'm a very aggressive player.
You have to like face them head on.
Well,
Why
you're
is
supposed
there
I
poison
totally
ivy
forgot.
wearing pants?
She's
Don't
poison
question
ivy.
greatness. Do
Have you ever
not-
wondered how like superheroes have the energy to be superheroes and also work a 40-hour week job?
No,
Cocaine's a
I-
hell of
I-
a drug.
Oh my God.
Like I work all day and I'm just like, I'm done, you know? Like, you know, that's it. Like how do these guys have that amount of energy?
Like I said, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Batman just has like little
Was it-
needles in his suits that are just like
Phoenix
putting
Jones on
cocaine
cocaine?
into.
There was
No,
a,
he was dealing cocaine. I'm not.
there was a
cocaine.
comic arc.
He was
where,
dealing
Oh.
drugs at one point.
There was
That's
a
what he got
comic
arrested
arc where,
for.
what's his name? Batman. He started using Venom
Yeah, he did.
to kind of like give himself an edge because he was getting to that point where it's like, all right, I can't keep up with all this shit, and it's like, you know, like that's actually a pretty like.
Like Batman starts
Oh,
dipping.
what the hell? Oh, come on! I'm getting my.
Alfred, I just imagine Alfred just being, sir, you will not be
What the hell?
accepted in the superhero Olympics, sir. If you keep doping
You're
like
dead.
this. Oh man, it's lagging out for me now.
It is
Oh,
lying
definitely.
so hard.
You're dead, Sauron. You're
Sorry,
dead.
I might go soon. Wow.
Oh no, he
I
might have.
just
No, he got
suddenly
him.
started not feeling good. I didn't tell you guys this, but I also on Tuesday I had 2 infected teeth, like molars, removed.
My gosh.
So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
still
I think you
recovering
posted
from that.
about it in Discord.
Good.
Oh, that's weird.
Glad you're okay.
That's rough.
Yeah,
teeth pulled
I had to. Oh, it was horrible. It was like I felt like they were breaking my jaw almost at one point, yanking out my head.
Jeez. Ooh.
Like that's why I've been doping the pot so much. That's why I've been like slamming back the pain pills. But it's just eating also aggravates it, and you guys just saw that I ate.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've
yeah.
had my wisdom teeth pulled. That's never fun. I've had patients with wisdom teeth get pulled, and it's just like,
Yeah, I gotta get mine pulled. I just keep forgetting to do it.
Tooth pain just is the worst. It sucks.
There's
You
really
know,
not much you can do about it.
it's blinding pain.
Yeah,
You know?
It's not like you can really not.
I'm gonna
eat.
go, guys.
Yeah.
I need to smoke up some more, and I don't know how long I'm gonna be. I'm sorry
You're good.
about this, guys.
You're all
We're
good.
gonna be
You guys
on
are
All
for a
right,
bit
very-
thanks,
longer.
and okay.
It was good to
It
see
was
you,
nice
Bye,
to kind of
guys. I
officially
also
meeting
might-
you.
Night.
It was nice to see you again too, Orc Girl. Right, Nikki's
Yes.
Nikki's your name, right? Or was because I couldn't remember. Was it
Oh,
Nikki?
my
Was
name?
that your preferred name?
Amy. Amy.
Your preferred name, huh? Amy. God, why did I think it was Nikki?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I'm Nick.
Oh my god! I turned you guys into long lost twins. Oh, there's Poison Ivy and her pantslessness. Oh my god, she really has no pants.
glory. Pantsless glory.
I mean, she is.
Pants, she don't need pants.
I mean,
She don't need no pants.
She's got like
She is a sassy,
can
controlled
suck
woman. Okay, she don't need no pants.
Pants are overrated,
I might stay for the
anyways.
no pants fight.
Oh no, it's the simps.
I don't.
It's
Subscribe to her OnlyFans.
exactly what it is. Isn't it?
Subscribe to her OnlyFans before it's too late, guys.
All right, let's be real here. If Poison Ivy was like in the real world, she would totally have an OnlyFans
She would.
Yeah, she
yes,
would.
and use it
She
to
would just
fund
make the
her.
OnlyFans to say, well, if you help me save the world, I'll create an OnlyFans account. Boom. She'll get like $10 million off
She
the
starts-
first day.
She just throws a. She
She
just shows a
starts
thigh
taking
pic.
her clothes. She starts taking her clothes. No. She starts taking her clothes off, but she's ranting about like how badly like NTFs are for the environment. Like,
And she's
like
talking about how much she
uses
hates humans.
like for her
Everybody just
platform.
mutes
Yeah.
the OnlyFans and just watch it.
Oh no! What she does is she goes on about how much she hates humans, but everyone in the chat is a straight up masochist. So it's not getting through to them. So she gets progressively more angry, but that just makes them worse. So
Try to
she's
kick
like,
him off the ledge.
Oh my god!
she's just like, this is why I hate you.
What the heck just happened?
I don't know.
That was again. I'm on a delay. So
Oh
you
god!
don't see it.
Poison Ivy
Oh
turns
my god,
into a
Deuce hated
financial
by a
dom.
freaking ledge and he doesn't fall in right away.
Okay, good
Well,
night, guys.
this is something. Good.
Night-night.
Oh, wow, she
All right,
is
night.
gone.
Night.
But one thing I will say is about like I know we were talking about Poison Ivy, but like she's one of those characters where it's kind of like with Harley, where it's like I don't know where this idea came from that she's just a misunderstood anti-hero came from, because that's straight up not
Right.
true.
No.
Like I mean, I'm not gonna say she's not like in her mind one of those people who's like, oh, I'm doing the right thing. But like, come on, man, she's attempted genocide before,
Right.
and I know a lot of people like to
liked-
say like, oh, that's a different version of her. But yeah, but still, it's all part of the same character.
I
You know-
liked her development in Arkham Knight
What
that
the
made
hell?
her a bit more of a heroic figure.
I think that what has happened, just like with Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy and Harley, I think a lot of people have kind of projected onto them. You know, they see like, oh, like Harley, she's just in an abusive relationship, and people tend to kind of project that when it's like, well, that was one element of the storyline, and much, you know, same with like Poison Ivy. That's one element of the storyline, but they kind of forget all the other elements and the fact that they're criminals. They're people who do bad things. But I think because so much of we've seen so much projection from fans onto it, you're starting to see it kind of reflect in the media as well.
Right, because that's one thing I've always said about the Harley Quinn and Ivy relationship. Because to me personally, like, I know a lot of people are going to say certain things, but I don't like it. I think it's one of those where it's like, it's purely a fan service thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's ever really developed it past that. And I think it's because they're smart enough to know that it doesn't matter. They know they don't have to develop it past it.
See,
Because
right
it's
there,
like-
there's the muted colors. Sorry, but
But it's like for Harley, you could make the argument that post Joker, she's gonna want somebody else
Mhm.
to kind of cling to. However,
Mhm.
for Ivy, she's basically a succubus. It makes no sense for her to get any kind of romantic attachment to anybody,
Right.
whoever they are, because it's like even one of the things where it's like the whole reason why. Well, at least again, this is probably some other iteration. Maybe this is like pre-reboot or whatever. But one of the reasons why she goes after Batman is because he resisted her charms, not because she likes him or anything. It's because like, oh, you rejected me. You don't want no
Yeah.
one rejects me. And so that's part of the reason why she goes after Batman, at least early versions. I could be wrong now. You know, that might have changed, but
I'm just imagining
When I-
Poison
That makes
Ivy when she gets rejected by Batman. It's that clip of Norman Osborn screaming, "No one says no to me."
you can't do this to me.
But I
You
think
know
in
how
that,
much I
you know,
sacrificed.
So after Spider-Man says, "No, I'm not joining you," in the burning building, and he leaves, and then Green Goblin just stands there and goes, "No one says no to me." He's just burning down.
But
It
I
was-
mean, that I know what Silver's pretty human. Like, how many people do you know that they might have like all these people that want them, but then the one person they want is the person who's not attracted to them at all.
Right.
And it's like, how dare you not be attracted to me?
So I'll be honest, I was super antisocial for most of my life, and only recently, like within the past 6 years or so, have I really gotten close to a whole lot of people, and pretty much everybody I've made the effort to get close to has been not that toxic.
Yay!
Not everybody
Yeah,
though.
Oh well, you've met
It was
me.
my own toxicity. Fuck off.
You've met me, and I'm pretty toxic, man. Like that's who I am.
Yeah, I've seen what you did to Mordor. All right.
Jeez,
Mordor, you
Batman,
should
why
just-
did you have to ruin a good free cell phone? Moron.
He could probably make something better than that. Give him like 3 hours in the lab, and boom, done.
All right, so here's something I've always thought about. There's certain things about Batman / Bruce Wayne where I'm like, I don't know if it's confirmed. It might have been confirmed. It might not be. But there's like certain headcanons that I like to have about him. And I'm not a big fan of headcanons, but I'm the exception to my own rules. So one of the things is like Bruce Wayne is totally a car guy. No one drives around in a Batmobile like that and not be into cars.
Yeah.
Second
He has
is
to
like
be.
second is that he is a conspiracy theorist. He's that person who he's like, the government is spying on me. I am not using a government phone. And it's one of those things where it's like, he's absolutely right, because that's how he is. That's how he's Batman. Like, he's not going to have a phone that can be traced.
Right.
But to me, those are like the little things about Batman. It's like, I know it's not canon, but to me, it's like some of the details they add about him and some of the things he does. I was like, yeah, but I could kind of buy that
But
at least.
plot twist: Batman
Things
is
that
really
kind of,
plot
things that
twist.
really got me.
Alex
Okay.
Jones is Batman's VTuber model.
I can say as a
have you
confirmed.
guys seen that
Oh.
edit of Sonic that he's just screaming and being Alex Jones?
No, I have not. That's
Hold on,
hilarious.
Hold on, I'm gonna post that in the Discord.
No, because it's like one of those things where it's like, what is it like? There was something I was talking to a friend about, and it's like some of these characters, the way they do stuff, it's like even though it's not said, it's sometimes like I hate to use like headcanon as an excuse, because to me that's like, that's kind of pushing what is
Headcanons
actually
are
there,
fun,
what
though.
isn't.
That's where you get into the territory where people start harassing the creator because they headcanoned a character being gay, and that's not actually in the canon.
Right.
Yeah, but one of the things is like
Or
when it
crazy
comes to
shit like
Batman,
that.
like especially some of the iterations where he's got like the souped up like Batmobile, it's like he had to have like, because I know in some versions he has like people work on his car.
Well, at the very
And,
least,
like-
I mean, even the Arkham ones, it's confirmed he built the Batmobile from scratch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I would love to see like Bruce Wayne, like for a brief moment of humanity, like just to see like him kind of go like he sees like a car and he legitimately goes like, oh my god, that's awesome, that's amazing, but he doesn't like say it out loud necessarily, but you can tell he has like a quiet respect for it.
Kind of like with they did in the first Iron Man movie, you see Tony Stark fixing his car or whatever. It's like kind of have like that same effect with Bruce, is what you're getting at.
Yeah,
I think though that writers do add these little subtle things that they don't have to come out and say, but they're there for the mood, they're there for the tone, and if you're really paying attention as the viewer, you can pick up on it and be like, oh, okay, I see what they did there, and nobody has to point it out, but you can know that there was some intent behind that behavior in the character.
I could definitely say that in the story White Knight, at least, Batman's definitely a car guy, because you see a shit ton of Batmobiles that are referenced from not only from the other comics, but also from the films also, because the Tumbler, the Adam West Batmobiles make an appearance. Heck, even the Batman 89 Batmobile shows up. At least there, it's like, okay, at least this version of the Dark Knight
What the
is a
hell?
color
I did
guide.
not mean to do that.
I really like the Bat Pod thing at the later part of the Dark Knight. Like, I mean, the Tumblr was cool. But was like I like the bike too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bike was sweet, especially how it's just like shoots out and it's essentially the front two wheels.
Yeah,
of the
one little
Tumblr.
thing I liked was even though I don't think this is feasible at all, how it can rotate in place because the wheel can completely.
I know that
roll
was
to the
so weird,
side.
but I know that was so weird, but I liked it. It was like for someone like Batmobile for not leaning in or seeing as how I don't know how you would able to control that thing, having the wheels doing like a 180 or whatever, that would make sense.
Yeah.
See, for me, so I'm a firm believer in what do you call it? The rule of cool.
Yeah, that was straight up rule of cool, and I loved it.
I'm a big fan of the rule of cool, and I feel like a lot of comic book movies need
You're
to
dead,
have
Sauron. You're dead.
more of that.
Mm.
I am like losing
So bad.
focus.
No
here.
offense. I try not to be rude, but dude.
Oh no, I'm fine. It's again, I'm on a delay, but it's like I keep forgetting what buttons do what, and so I'm kind of
It's
like,
been-
I swear, I don't know what it is.
there you go.
Anytime I stream a game, like I can get through the
Get out,
same
get out,
section
get
no
out.
problem when I'm not streaming, but the minute I stream it,
Ooh, I called it.
it's like I become garbage at it.
Well,
again,
the good thing
I'm in that position
for
where
me,
like I haven't played this game in a long time.
the good thing for me, like as compared, like me playing on my own as compared to streaming, is I'm pretty much equally sucky.
I think I would put that on my like I said that for Dead Space because I was partially joking. I was like, get ready for some subpar gameplay, despite the fact that I play Dead Space like regularly. This is the time I should have put that disclaimer. Get ready for some subpar gameplay. I'm about to get my ass kicked as Batman because I
Yes.
haven't played this game so long, and it's one of those games where it's like it's easy to control, but at the same time there is a level of skill to it. Because I know a lot of people like to say, "Oh, just mash counter," but it's like, yeah, you could kind of do that, but not every encounter is gonna
Yeah.
benefit.
And it's not interesting that way either, you know.
Whoa. The entire stream just kind of froze for me. Not even just the gameplay. It was like you guys talking as well.
Whoops.
Yeah, that might be.
I don't know why I'm coughing so much. Holy crap.
COVID.
Well, you're drinking, right?
No, not anymore. I haven't. I finished my beer, and I that was literally all I had. I don't have a bunch else.
Yeah, I
that's
finished
that's the
my
last
beer a while
alcohol we
ago.
have in the house, actually. Like except
Yeah,
for
don't drink piss water.
Can I grab
Okay.
him from here? I'm curious.
You know what's funny is like my uncle actually said the same thing, and because I was out to dinner with him the other day because he was about 2 hours away from me for work.
Mhm.
And like I was like, yeah, I'll get a Bud Light. He's like, no, he's not gonna get pea water. He like ordered something else for me, and I'm like,
Well, I used to hate that where I would go hang out with some people, and it's like, if you buy me a drink, I'm gonna drink it, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what unless you ask me. I'm not gonna tell you what drink to buy me because that's like you're making the offer. I'm just gonna accept it. But there are moments where I'm just like, please pick something I actually like. Please pick something I actually like. And it's like,
oh, my friend did that to me the other day. It was Sunday. We were watching a movie. It was like, so every Sunday I get together with three of my friends. We watch a movie. We like rotate on who gets to pick. And then we play D&D. I run a game for them.
Nice.
And yeah, it's something.
Really fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Out of three of them, there's three of them. There's my buddy Matt, Maurice. That's Matt and Maurice are a married couple, and then there's Leland, who I'm actually gonna be moving in with, hopefully by the end of the year. But between the three of them, the only serious character is Maurice's character Colette, who is like our Fire Ganassi Ranger, and then there's Matt's character Rydell. He's our artificer, but we're pretty sure he's just straight up autistic. And then we have Leland's character Kanashi, who is a changeling Dampier rogue.
Oh boy.
And
I can do that.
he's just batshit insane. So he's usually really entertaining. Rydell gives me headaches.
Well, I remember when we were doing I can't remember who started it, if it was Slim or Soggy, but I know we were doing one, and like the character I made, I straight up was like, he's a paladin, but he's evil, and it's because he's actually serving an evil god, not a good one, but he's too.
Oh, we
like,
got to finish your character sheet.
Yeah, he's too blind to recognize. Like, he used to be evil. He wanted to become a good guy, so he started praying to like a deity to say, guide me. But he didn't realize that the deity is actually evil. And so because he's so used to a life of evil, he just assumes everything the deity says to him must be a good. So, like, when the deity tells him to, like, burn down an orphanage, he's like, well, that's what I must do.
Orphanage, like, I don't do kids, but that rule is negotiable if the kid is.
Okay, seeing as how you two brought up a D&D, I got a question.
Okay.
I have an answer.
Okay,
Might not be
you
a good answer.
okay? You know that as of recently, they're trying to shove in the whole wheelchair.
Oh, that is
Nonsense.
so stupid.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask. Doesn't D&D have like a healing spell that all of a sudden that person can start walking again
Yes.
or possibly see
They
again?
do.
So, what's the point of doing that?
It's because people want to feel validated when it's like
Doesn't even make sense.
it
Like,
doesn't. It's a
setting.
power trip. That's the thing. Like, you can be whatever you want to be, but why would you choose to limit yourself?
I know. It's just why
Like-
would you?
And if you do choose to limit yourself, wouldn't you be wanting to do it just because you want that challenge that it would impose?
I can
Like,
I
understand
think
that.
making a
and
paraplegic character could be interesting. It's
That
just
could
like
be
if the
fun as
world
hell.
wasn't catered to that.
yeah.
But yeah, like
It had its own
they're
challenge.
trying to make it so that it's like, oh yeah, no, these dungeons are wheelchair accessible. It's like, oh yes, I am the megalomaniac villain trying to conquer the world.
But whoa,
but
I gotta make my
sure my
dungeon
base is
wheelchair
wheelchair
it's like-
accessible.
But even
Huh?
he is subject to ADA standards, you know?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm pure evil, but I'm going to make sure, like, people who have disabilities can get in here.
It's like, whoa, I'm
I'll
not
fight
that
Batman,
evil,
but
guys.
the IRS? No, thank you.
Well, but like I said though, I just wanted to know because it's like, then what's the point of making your characters disable if there's the spell that can immediately fix them? So it kind of defeats the purpose. Not trying to sound like an ass or anything, but it's like
No, that's a fair point because it does
Perfectly
defeat the
reasonable.
purpose.
it's something that I had to say.
Not to mention, people point out, it's like, you could just do something more ridiculous, like having a chair that floats with magic or something.
I mean, do
But
that.
no, it's just a
Or
wheelchair.
like everyone keeps mentioning the spider, like a chair with spider legs or something. But it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Go fucking nuts.
It's
If
like,
you have like a steampunk style game or something, and they roll around in like a little steam powered cart or something.
Oh yeah, or hell,
You
you know what you could do? You could make it so like the person's paralyzed, but they use a golem thing that like forms around them like an Iron Man suit, and that moves them
yeah, because it's
around or
like,
something, and make
it's
it so
like
they can only use it for like a certain amount of time. If you want to have the fact that they can't move, they can't walk
Right.
normally, like a limitation in the game.
And I had a friend once that wanted to. He made a character that was mute in his story, and he wanted that challenge that it created by having being difficult for him to communicate. It wasn't like he expected us to kind of make certain concessions for the character. It was just he felt that would be an interesting challenge for him to role play. And that's perfectly reasonable. I get that, but asking everybody to change it for you, change the game to accommodate a character that doesn't exist,
well, because it's also, and it's one thing that always annoys me is that, like, a lot of people like to talk about entitlement, like entitled gamers and stuff like that. And usually the people who hark on about that, they're usually
Are
the
the
ones,
super entitled ones?
yeah, they're the ones usually demanding blank cater to them.
Accessibility.
And it's like,
I'm about to
that's-
say that pisses me off because it's like you hijack accessibility in the fact of like colorblind modes or supporting controller people who maybe where a normal controller doesn't work for them, but they physically cannot use it. But then they twist it to make a game have an easy mode.
yeah,
It's like
because
that's
it's
not
like,
the same thing.
Yeah, because like I've said it many times, and I'll stand by this. You being bad at the game is not a disability. Therefore, it is
No.
not an accessibility issue. And
Mhm.
it's like no one is. And I know because I use this example because Soulsborne games are usually
Yeah, that's the
games
one
that's
everyone.
cited. But it's like
Mhm.
no one is born good at like Bloodborne.
Yeah.
No one is like
And
they pick it up and are
So I guess
immediately
you could
like,
really say
"This is
nobody
perfect.
is blood
I got
born.
it."
yeah,
And it's
Here's-
like if other gamers have to like let's say you have 100 people,
Mhm.
and 98 of those people they play Bloodborne. They're not too good at it, but they keep playing it and they get better. How come we have to add an easy mode just for the 2 people who got to a difficulty point in which is like, no, this is too hard for me. I don't have time for this. You make it easier for me. Like, why are we catering to you?
I know. And I mean, and here's the thing: Bloodborne was actually the first Souls game I played. The game,
Right.
honestly, the way you make the game easier, and this is gonna sound dumb, but it actually does help. Look up a walkthrough.
Yep.
That's your easy mode. Look up a walkthrough because the walkthrough will help you get items that you probably wouldn't know to get on your first playthrough. That will make the game easier
And
if you want that.
Right.
Also, and you can't. To be fair, Sekiro is the only one where you can't do this. Dark Souls, if the game is hard, you can just farm souls for a while and just over level for that area,
Hmm.
and it'll make the game a little bit easier. You still gonna have to dodge attacks or block, obviously, but it's a little bit more forgiving when you do that. Not that I recommend you do this unless you are absolutely getting your ass kicked. But your level is kind of the difficulty setting in the game to begin with, because it's like people do the game at level 1. It's hard as shit, but people do it.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
like
like
the ultimate challenge.
for me personally, Bloodborne was my first. Well, I take it back. Dark Souls 2 was my first Souls game, and I sucked at it. And I was like, I got my ass kicked all the
I got my
time,
ass kicked a lot.
and I eventually just stopped playing it. Like I just straight up stopped playing it entirely.
Mhm.
Then later, years later, I ended up getting Bloodborne, and again I started playing. I sucked at it. Eventually, I just kept going through it, persevering, and then I got to what was that boss? I got to the Bloodstarved Beast.
I hate the Bloodstarved
And
Beast.
It kicked my ass so many times. Like,
Same.
it wasn't even funny how many times I lost to that thing. And then eventually I stopped playing it entirely. And then at one point, like I said, like I looked up guides,
Mhm.
and I was like, you know what, I gotta beat this game. I paid $60 for this. I was in Cuba at the time, like I was stationed in Cuba. I had nothing to do, and so I was like, I need to beat this game because I need something to do. And I looked up guides. I looked up all sorts of things, and one thing that kind of pissed me off was like, oh, it's an optional boss. You don't have to fight it.
Oh.
And that pissed me off so bad. I was like, are you telling me I could have just skipped this? And so what I ended up doing was I started over. I made a new character. And I kind of just went through the game completely different. I changed my play style a bit. And then eventually I just finally went back to the Bloodstarved Beast. And I get my ass kicked the first time, but I just kept playing it over and over and over again. I asked my friend for help, and then finally I eventually just beat the game. And ever since then, like, I don't play it all the time, but every time I do play it, it's like it's still a difficult time. But I can't sit here and say I'm not enjoying myself to a degree.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly,
go
the
ahead.
funniest thing with the Bloodstarved Beast is there's things that you can do that make the fight stupidly easy. And the obvious one, which if someone's watching this, they're probably gonna comment it, and that is use the pungent blood cocktail because it draws him.
Oh
and
my
distracts
god!
him. If you do that, and then you have Molotov cocktails,
Oh my
of
god!
fire, you can just deal with them easily. The other thing is, and this is really more so true in the first 2 phases before he has that bullshit grab attack. If you keep to the right of him, he can't hit you. Like all of his attacks will whiff
Yep.
past you.
I
Which is
remember.
really funny.
I remember that. Like I remember looking up guides for it because I think in my first playthrough when I got them, I had blood cocktails, and like I never knew what to use them for.
Yeah, me
And
neither.
then someone said, "Oh, you can use them to distract enemies." I never thought to use it on a boss. I never thought.
Yeah, because your first thought is
try
that's not going to work on a boss. Like, they wouldn't make a boss be able to be distractible like that. Because most games, usually when a distract item, it doesn't work on boss enemies.
Yeah,
usually.
and then like what was the other thing that kind of like there's the blood cocktails, there's the Molotovs, the oil urns, and another thing that was actually really cool is the flame sprayer, which is just essentially a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Because fire is its ultimate weakness, and so what you do is you just
chuck a cocktail, whip that out, and burn it.
Yeah, you just hose the thing down, and it's still not an easy fight. Like, don't get me
wrong.
Oh
no, it probably will still kick your ass.
But that was such a cool like. I would say it'd be kind of hard to like. Why would someone even assume this? But that's kind of the point of the game. Is like you keep playing it and you keep adapting your strategies.
That, and if you read the item description, it does tell you that it distracts beast, and the fact that the beast is called the blood-starved beast, you could kind of put two together. Like, oh, it probably will be drawn to this,
right?
But again, it's kind of one of those things like you probably wouldn't. It doesn't sound that obvious until you figure it out.
Let's see.
You know, it's like when a movie has a really good twist and you didn't see it coming, but then you rewatch the movie, you're like,
oh, it makes sense.
Now it makes sense. It's like, oh, they foreshadowed that hard, and I missed it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to clear this room out, and then we'll call it because we're at 2 hours, so I think that's a good time. Let's see.
You know what's one thing I will say that I'm really going. I know this is Arkham City, but I gotta talk about Arkham Knight again. The fucking Arkham Knight fight was such a letdown, and I kind of feel like what they could have done was like a Mr. Freeze type thing, but like from actual like you fighting him head on. And I was thinking, it'd be cool if he could like counterattack your counterattacks. So, you know what I mean? Like when you counter hit him, he can counter that.
Yeah, because I when I first got to that fight, I thought there was gonna be phases like that. I thought like phase 1 was gonna be the sniper hunt. Phase 2 would have been like a cat and mouse kind of game, and then finally the final phase would be like
a straight up fight.
Yeah, like a Deathstroke kind of fight.
Yeah.
I forgot
because I think that would have been cool if it was like the Mr. Freeze fight where he takes away your options to attack him from stealth.
Now, I do want to say, as disappointing as the Arkham Knight fight was, it was still probably the best boss fight in that game.
That's the sad part.
You know what's the best boss fight in that game, and I will stand by this. What do you call it? Oh God, what is it? It's I don't know if you would count it a fight, so I'll give the credit to that. I don't know if you'll count it as a fight, but the
does it involve with tanks?
No. Yes. It's the drill fight.
The drill fight. I
actually enjoyed that.
I actually didn't mind that. Because I kind of like when villains use something other than just them fighting you straight up sometimes, as long as there's an actual fight between you and them directly.
Now,
which to that point, I assumed there was going to be one.
I did not dislike the drill. The drill was very well done. It just pissed me off.
Yeah, I could see how it could be annoying because it was pretty difficult. But to my credit, I liked that. I liked that it was difficult. I liked how I had to kind of think about my strategy. And again, it was probably the best use the Batmobile had in that entire game.
Oh yeah.
I like the stealth tank missions where you had to sneak around behind the big tank and shoot it.
I liked it the first time.
When the first time you did it was fun.
The second time it was a little bit monotonous. And then the third time
the Deathstroke one was what pissed me off.
Yeah, had that been like that one time thing, I think it would have been a lot better. But
and I think if a lot with the Batmobile, if it had been a one-time thing, it would have been a lot better. But it wasn't though. They had to make everything around the Batmobile. Not only was it half the puzzles were Batmobile related, but you did them over and over.
Yeah. And
it just wasn't fun.
And one thing I always find funny about Arkham Knight is that I know their defense of it, or one of their reasons for it was that you're supposed to be Batman, you're supposed to have his entire arsenal to your disposal. But it's when you read Batman comics, when you watch the films, he doesn't really use the Batmobile that much like that.
No, he mostly uses it to get around or in the occasional chase.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
he's not like constantly in it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that kind of annoyed me because it's not like yeah, it's not
I
like
was
he's
fine with
always in
using the Batmobile in puzzles, but the problem is there's just so many times where you have to use it.
Yeah.
Like it would be fine if every once in a while there was a puzzle where you had to remote control the Batmobile to do something.
Yeah.
And I
then
don't
there's
even mind using the
stupid
Batmobile to
regular
get
race
around because
tracks.
honestly, it was cool to be able to drive that thing around.
It was.
It's just they use. I think what happened was like, okay, we finally let you use the Batmobile. Then they made the model. And it's like this model is so fucking cool. We gotta let the players use it a lot. And it kind of just became like that thing that everyone liked. The devs liked that they just shoved it into everything without realizing. Yeah, that gets kind of annoying.
All right, Penguin,
Yeah,
since
and
you
also-
stated it, there's one thing I've absolutely hated as of recently is that when it comes to the games, books, films, or whatever, it's like they always got to make the Batmobile look like a tank. It's like, what's wrong with making it as an armored car?
Right.
It's like, I know with Nolan, he wanted to have the Dark Knight trilogy do the realistic approach,
Well, I don't
But-
even say realistic, just more grounded, I guess. Just realistic.
grounded more in reality, but though it's like, you people realize you're doing a superhero comic book, right? You meant to put some silliness into it.
I don't
Yeah,
mind
but
if
at
it's
the
a
same time,
tank,
like,
if it's like a.
with-
It depends on what
I'll
the
forgive
story
Christopher
is, to be
Nolan.
honest.
Because I will say, like, the Dark Knight trilogy doesn't really feel like Batman films to me at its core. It's Christopher Nolan films that just
It kind of feels like Batman for the most
James
part.
Bond wearing a bat suit.
and that's why, like, okay, again, like, I'll even the dumbest ideas I'll be okay with, like, the first time. So, like, turning the Batmobile into a tank. Yeah, it's pretty cool when it's done sporadically, but it's like you said, when it's so
When they do it too
saturated
much,
with that,
yeah, or it doesn't
and
make
I can
sense in
see
the
why
tone you're
they
going
did
with.
that in Arkham Knight, because honestly, just having it as the car wouldn't have really worked with what they were going with.
Yeah, considering the theme with the whole city being taken over
Exactly,
and the
it's
tanks, like having it be
not
just a
really
car wouldn't
work.
make any sense.
Well, because even in
Yeah.
that continuity, his original Batmobile was like the car.
Yeah.
And that was
And then he
destroyed
eventually
in
was like,
Arkham
all right.
Asylum.
Yeah, I need a stronger Batmobile, and that's when he debuts the tank, and it's like,
Yeah.
You know what
Batman.
would have been cool if you had the regular car until like the
oh,
the
when it
drone
gets
tanks show
destroyed.
up, and then it gets until the
Yeah,
first
then I
drone
would
tank show up,
understand
and
if
then
the
you call
reason
in the new
for a
one.
bat tank to arrive.
That
Yeah,
could have been
because-
pretty cool.
There is a
And-
moment where the Batmobile gets destroyed, and then like he gets replaced, and it's just got like it's the same Batmobile but no paint. And I'd have
Yeah.
been like, this would have been a cool moment to introduce like a new Batmobile, but they don't.
Yeah,
It's just
and I
it's
find
the
it
same
hilarious
Batmobile, just no paint.
that Lucius Fox says, "Be careful with her, sir. She's one of a kind." It's like, if she's one of a kind, why did you all of a sudden pop her out like she was Octomom giving birth?
Yeah,
I got a
it's like,
feeling that
one of a kind. Here's the second one.
I got a feeling that Lucius probably like Bruce is probably gonna want another one of these just in case.
I've worked with
Keep in
Batman
mind,
long
like, the
enough to know.
replacement was
Or it was
the
here's what I
prototype.
think it was. It was the prototype version
Mhm.
before the
Actually-
final build.
I think that is the.
That's why it's
excuse.
unpainted. It's like the prototype because
Well,
let's be
even
real,
if
like, you
look
don't
at
just
it,
build-
it actually does look a little bit different. That's the only one of the Batmobile skins that can actually use the tank that actually looks different.
yeah. That's what I think is going on. I was like, oh, okay, this is the prototype, and then we're gonna make we're testing everything, and then we'll make the full, the one in black, basically.
And I like how it kind of confirms that like Batman basically is just like basically that scene of does it come in black happened in Arkham
Yeah,
in the Arkham series. Here you go, Lucius Fox. Like, here you go, Mr. Wayne. We have this new Batmobile model. Oh, sweet. Can you paint it black?
he just looks at it. He's like, this is great, but
It's missing something.
black.
No, but he doesn't even say. He's like, it looks good, Lucius. It functions perfectly, but it's missing something. I don't know what. And like Lucius knows what he means, but Bruce Wayne doesn't really realize what he means. Like he's like, it's missing something. I can't quite put my finger on it.
And Lucius
And
like, say
Lucius
no
is
more, Mr. Wayne.
Say no more. He pulls out the black one, and Batman's like, Perfect.
I'll
That's
take
what
it.
is.
10 out of 10. Let's do it.
All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. We're about 2 hours, 30 minutes in. I know we kind of,
Yeah, I got to get some sleep anyway. I got to wait and go to the mall.
yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
kind
that's
of
right,
talked
you
about
gotta let
Batman.
I'm pushing
kinda
my
talked
own
about
stream
everything.
to a little bit earlier in the day tomorrow because my afternoon is pretty much booked up.
I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'm like debating with myself, do I want to stream tomorrow?
If you decide against streaming and want to watch me, fuck around with Resident Evil, then
Oh, which Resident Evil are you gonna play?
Probably the one with the
I've been
vampire
making
MILF.
No, I've actually been making my way through the very first one.
Are we
Nice.
talking the remake of the first one or the
2002
original?
remake. It's on
Okay.
PS4.
Wait, are
I'm
we talking about Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 0 prequel?
Resident Evil
original.
1. The
Okay.
Resident Evil 1 remake.
So I'm planning on going through like all of the main ones, as well as the Revelations spin-offs. And
I
all
know a lot of
those
people like
I-
Revelations 1. I did not like that game. I just
didn't
thought the
play the first
story
one.
tried to be so serious, but it's like it's so stupid though.
I think the
But they
thing about
take it way too
Revelations.
seriously compared to the other stupid ones.
I think the thing about Revelations is that oh, check this out. I do have the
Yes,
costumes.
that was my
that's
favorite
cool.
skin because if you use that skin during the campaign, Catwoman and Robin both turn into the animated skins as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what I was gonna say about Resident Evil, I feel like the reason why Revelations was so well received was because it came out around the time where Resident Evil
6
was
came
losing.
out.
Yeah, it was losing its identity, and even though it's still not perfect, it's still kind of more in line with the original games as opposed to the rest of them.
I kind of respected Revelations for that, but I also was just like this game, like because the people were like, "Oh, it's way better than 6." I'm like, I don't know about that. And it's like for a game that's originally on a 3DS, like, yeah, no, this is impressive.
Look who
Don't
showed
get
up
me
in
wrong.
the chat. I don't know if anyone's looking at YouTube.
Oh yeah,
or
the
anything.
blue, the blue and
Yeah.
gray.
Oh, no, I'm saying
Mhm.
look who showed up in the chat.
Oh, who's in our
Slim.
chat? Oh, hey, Slim.
Hey, it's
Hi,
Slim.
Slim.
Sorry, Slam, but you arrived a bit late there, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, we're literally
we can go-
wrapping up.
Let's go through the suits. Like
Slim
we can
on
go through the
CP.
suits real quick.
Slim on CPT.
What is that? Year one?
Yeah,
I think this is year one. It looks
it's
like.
year
Well,
one.
It's year one
Wow.
inspired because I know the year one suit has like longer ears. Like
I was about to say, I do not like the short ears on Batman. I don't.
I
I
get why.
prefer mid-length ears, but if I have to pick short or long, I'm going long. Just because I really
I either
like
prefer the
way it
mid-length or the long, because to me, it's just the silhouette doesn't look right.
Oh lord.
That's what she said, guys.
Nah.
happens. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what's funny? I thought of that and I didn't want to say it. I was
Yeah.
like, no one's gonna laugh at that.
I do really like this suit because it somehow makes the yellow oval look good in like a more modern style suit.
I
mean,
like
I-
I like the gray on the cape. Like if you zoom out,
I think this is
the way the
the
light
year-
hits the cape.
I think this is year one or Earth one. Not year one, Earth one. Actually, the names of the suits are on them. Let's see.
Yeah.
Zoom out for a sec.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I like the
Yeah, or
So
I like
that
the
is
color of the
year one
cape
or
on that one with the gray instead of it being just solid black.
Yeah, that's year one. That's Earth one. This is Dark Knight Returns. Oh yeah, that's a Frank Miller Batman if I've ever seen one.
yes, it is.
It's
I
so weird.
I
'cause
love
it's-
using that one because he literally just
Wow.
looks fat.
Look at that. Like the bat itself is fat.
I know.
Yes.
Because he's thick. You dumb, he's thick, boy.
Look at that. Like okay, so you know how people say like you can tell Bruce Wayne is Batman by the jawline because Batman or Bruce Wayne usually has like a very
Square
profound
jaw,
chin.
yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Tell me if you saw this man without a mask, you would not immediately be like, all right, this is the same man. There's no way.
That is Batman.
There's no
Yeah,
way.
that
in hell.
jawline, man.
Look at that.
Well, you got to remember, and sometimes in the comics and cartoons, you see Joker with like a triangular chin.
Oh, here's the Batman Beyond. I think
This
I
one
wanna
looks
say-
weird to me, even though I know what it's going for. It just always looked kind of weird.
I
Hey,
think
don't you be disrespecting the best
It looks
suit
pretty
ever
perfect.
created there.
I
Pink.
think
the suit in the cartoon. I just think it looks weird on Bruce Wayne.
what do you call it?
I think it would have been better if they had actually gone with like the animated style, the same way.
Yeah, I
they did with the
think it
animated
would have
suit.
been.
Yeah, I think they were trying to keep
That said, I do
somewhat
love
in the
this suit.
aesthetic. Actually, I think this is one of the suits that was in the game as it came out because I think some of these suits are DLC.
Yeah, it
suits.
did.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure all of them were DLC. This is my personal favorite.
I like
This is a
that one.
DLC suit. This is definitely a DLC suit. I
Yeah, the
remember
Sinestro
this.
Corps
all of
Batman
the suits
suit
were
is
DLC.
awesome.
Wait, does he actually? Okay, he has the ring. I was about to be pissed off if he didn't have the
Yeah, he does.
I like the eyes too. How he has the Sinestro Corps.
I think
below
one thing
to
I
him.
noticed very much
Too bad
about
you
this
can't
suit,
actually use the ring.
especially as a kid, is that like he actually has stubble in this skin that he doesn't really have in the others.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, that's
That's-
Interesting.
that's part of the fear. An
Fear makes
unshaven
your-
man is coming to kick your ass.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, like, the reason that stood out to me is because it actually just
What's going on with
the
the What's going on with the anatomy in his neck though? Like if you go back to that and zoom in, it looks like he's got. It looks weird. And the Sinestro Corps suit, like around
Oh
his
my
neck.
god, you're right.
Like look at that. What is
Whoa.
going on there?
Oh
I'm no
my
anatomy expert,
God.
but like
He's just
dude.
super stressed.
Have you ever seen that meme? It was like a mugshot of a guy who got his neck was like massive.
Yes, we know.
Yeah.
And I remember
Yes.
my favorite meme of that was like it was that picture, and it was like the caption "Next time on Dragon Ball Z."
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he do got a Dragon Ball Z neck.
look at those traps. My God, like
Beefy boy.
yeah, Slim is right. Beefy boy indeed. I know you was talking about the Dark Knight skin, but my God.
Yeah, like what the hell?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like unrealistic, like people talk about like unrealistic standards. Like I see this, I don't think like. Well, yeah, I think it's.
who
I
is
don't-
looking
I don't-
like that? Normally, who's not a bodybuilder or something? Who's looking like that?
But I'm like, I don't look at this and be like, oh my God, I could never look like that. I'm like, I need to get to the gym right
Yeah,
now.
you kind of like. I should
Also,
probably go to a gym.
I want to say, like, one thing I really like about this cowl is around the eyes, it has kind of that angry gargoyle look.
Yeah,
And
that is a nice detail.
I'm a sucker for that.
Oh, there you go.
This
Hey.
is good.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Cool.
They even got the cell shading, which
Yeah.
they probably had it on the other one too, but I didn't really notice it.
I feel like
until-
he's just saying "bruh" like perpetually. It's just "bruh" with that mask on.
bruh.
Bruh.
Those eyes, they're staring deep into my soul.
Staring deep into something.
Long Halloween cap. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
that's
one
the
she just straight up
purple
looks like
aesthetic.
a goblin.
That's cool. Oh, wow.
That is pretty cool though. They
It
added
is,
Yeah,
some
because that
finger
was
face.
from the Batman Year One.
No, like Batman and Long Halloween.
Yeah, this one says Long Halloween, so
Yeah, but for when Miller was doing, because I know the Long Halloween is
Them
sort of
abs,
bit of a
though.
continuation of the Year One aesthetic, so that's why it looks like that.
Was it?
Sort of.
Hey, the
I
boy
didn't-
wonder.
Yeah.
I like
Alright.
the cell shading on the cape, like the way the cape
Oh, yeah.
looks.
Did they give him a bulge? Like, it's.
There's
Yeah.
only one way to find out. Yeah, looks like it. Yep. there's a
Yeah,
bulge.
yeah, they did.
Robert's got a bulb. Hopefully Harley Quinn doesn't come near him.
Looks
Oh,
like
no.
Pink's got a dick.
No, wait, that's the wrong Robin.
Oh yeah,
Whoops.
that's Tim. Whatever.
That's
No, this
Nightwing.
is Tim.
She,
This is Tim.
Well, no, I mean,
Red
well,
Robin.
technically,
Yeah,
Robin in this game is Tim.
Yeah, in this continuity, Tim Drake is currently Robin.
Mhm.
And that's why they have the Red Robin suit. I remember that now.
I thought Jason Todd wears the Red Robin suit.
No, well,
Only in Death in the Family, there's like one of the choices you can make where Jason Todd ends up as Red Robin.
yeah, I was about to say like, probably like he wore it briefly. All right, now
So-
here's the question about Dick Grayson. All right,
Mhm.
and this
Why
is how
does he
you can
look-
tell. No. This is how you can tell if they did a good model.
Oh my god.
Are we
Wow,
really
it's funny.
doing the pulling the camera?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
I mean, this is how you can tell.
Is
Look,
Susan gonna get mad at us for doing that?
Listen, we stared at Catwoman's butt. Now we
True,
gotta stare at
true.
Nightwing's. Equal opportunity.
Yep, true.
This is fair. Yeah.
No one
Let's
can
be
say.
honest. Nobody cares about objectifying men.
Yeah, no, that doesn't exist.
Isn't there like a isn't there like an official artwork of all like the Nightwings, and one of them is literally like it's got all the different Nightwing costumes and outfits, and the main one in front is literally him with his ass to the camera.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
So
not
here's the
complaining.
real question:
I'm not complaining, but still.
do you guys prefer Nightwing's appearance in Arkham City or Arkham Knight?
I don't remember what he looked like in Arkham Knight. Honestly,
Arkham Knight, if I remember correctly, it's basically it's a more realistic city. Like his suit is basically the same. It's just slightly more realistic.
It's a little bit more intricately detailed. The bird emblem is a little bit different. And his mask is actually part of the suit itself instead of separate.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember.
And
that
he
now.
has the shorter haircut.
I would have to see him.
I didn't.
side by
I
side.
forgot Harley has like a veil kind of thing on.
Well, this is
I know,
this is
This is her
This is
kiss
Harley Quinn's
army.
Revenge.
Dies.
yeah, this is the DLC.
Oh, okay.
All right,
The
now
kiss army look.
Yeah.
I'm about to say this is very hot topic.
Yeah.
Also, that
Did you
gun.
say Kiss Army?
That's a flare gun.
Kiss is a good band, so I will not have that slander.
I mean, to be fair, a flare gun. If you shot someone with
No,
that,
I
it's
love
gonna
Kiss.
hurt.
Yeah, it's like shoot someone. with a
Everybody's
gun,
gotta
it's
love Kiss.
Yeah, I love Kiss.
For my 17th birthday, my dad took me to a Kiss concert. It was great.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, nice.
That's
It's always
really
been his favorite band, so.
Oh, we gotta get to everyone's favorite characters, Harley's thugs, the real stars of the show.
good.
That's Jerome over there. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's one of the most underrated characters, and
I'm not
In the
gonna lie, I
Batman
do like
universe?
the jackets. I do like
I'll
the
be
jackets.
honest. Like I was pretty sure that Arkham Knight was just gonna be Jerome.
You know what's funny
I know.
is that you make this joke, but I remember, and one of the things that a lot of Arkham games get like it's one of those things that a lot of people remember fondly is like the banter between the thugs, and I remember very specifically in Harley's Revenge, there's a banter of a henchman, basically trying to be like, you know what, Harley seems really sad. Maybe I should go talk to her. And the guys are like, "Are you insane? Are you
She
crazy?
will kill you.
Like you're literally gonna sit here and try to mac on the Joker's girl, and you think this is gonna turn out all right?" He's like,
Well,
"No, it's not like that. I just want to talk to her." I said,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know in that DLC,
I
one of the
mean-
sniper guys was like, "Here, after I shoot Robin, I come in and comfort you." And she was biting his head off, and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
buddy,
I
there's no
remember-
way in hell you'll be writing that, Harley."
Yeah,
That's another thing. I love the.
I'll be honest though.
Thug banter.
I would die trying.
Like,
Yeah.
nah,
so would I.
I'd have to pass on that.
okay,
Absolutely,
I
bro.
remember now. This dates this game because this was the version of Batman that was in the comics, Batman Incorporated.
I don't remember that storyline.
I think
It was an
New 52.
Elseworlds thing.
It was New 52 era.
Was it? I thought it was
Yeah.
Elseworlds.
No, it was. Well, okay. Let me put it this way. I don't know if it was Elseworld, but I know it had the New 52 moniker on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm not surprised, but yeah, it was like the whole thing where Batman just decided he wasn't enough, so he just got just hired a bunch of other Batmen.
He's
made it
finally
into
put
a
that money to use.
corporation.
He's like, "Yo, man, I got too much stuff to do. You're gonna be Batman number 2." All right. I think that's all the costumes to go. Yeah, that's all.
That is it, yep.
Here we go. It's the main one. Oh, you already looked at this one. Oh, screw it. Look at that beautiful man.
Looking at it again.
Look at that beautiful man. And the action shot too.
No, we don't. No, we don't need to see a bat bulge.
We're not going for the bull. I'm going for him throwing the batarang at you. It's like, ha, I got you.
That's what smug face too.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
man.
a lot of detail in the face.
That's what smug look he's got too. He's just like, you're not getting away, dude.
Let's see something. I remember one of my favorite dialogues for the thugs, and this stands for all of the games. Well, there's 2 of them. The first one is like, I can't remember which game it's in, but a guy's kind of like, he's like, they're out on the street, and he's like, "You know what, man, we got to get inside because I heard Batman's out here." And he's like, "What?" And the guy's like, "What? You scared of Batman?" It's like, "You're damn right I am. The last time I fought Batman, he broke my arm and left me in the hospital for 3 weeks. So I'm not fighting that guy again." And then there's another one, and it's like, I think you can. I'm pretty sure it's in Arkham City, and it's only after you beat the main story. And one of the guards is like, "So I heard they're closing this place down. They're opening another one." It's like, what the hell are they gonna do? They already did Arkham City. They already did Arkham Asylum. Then they did Arkham City. What's next? Arkham County, Arkham Country, big ass Arkham World. Because I remember like, there was like a running joke people were saying was like, the next game is gonna be Arkham World, and they even had like that I say Easter egg, but it was like a video of Joker receiving an award, and one of the things he held in his hand was like, it said like plans for Arkham World or some shit like that.
Oh no.
And I was like, you know what? I would have bought that game. If they called Arkham Knight Arkham World, I would have bought it. Even if it wasn't World. The fact they stuck with such a stupid name.
You remember the rumor where
Oh.
You remember the rumor where they were gonna do a Superman game next?
I mean, that rumor's. I've still heard that rumor around a couple of times.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. As much as people say it's happening, or as much as people want it to make it happen, I just don't see a good Superman game being made. Like,
I think it would be really hard to do it, honestly.
It could be done. I just don't think anybody would really put the effort in to do that, because I just think that there's not that good history, and anytime anybody makes a Superman game, people are going to be disappointed inevitably. I personally think the best model for a Superman game would actually be kind of the Telltale model. Lean into Superman like as the Clark Kent reporter side, and then like, you know, the kind of quick time events for him unleashing his full power.
I remember there was a Superman game where they did something kind of interesting where you couldn't die. Instead, like, you didn't have health, but
Superman Returns.
I think that was it, where it's like the city.
Different goals.
Metropolis had a health
First
bar.
mission, yeah, Metropolis had a health bar, and I rage quit that game so many times because it sucked. And then the second mission, you just got kidnapped by Mongol out of nowhere, and instead of like a health bar or anything, you basically just had to keep the crowd's perception of you high.
Yeah, I remember, because I had a talk with a friend of mine.
Annoying thing.
Where like we were talking, because I love Superman. Superman is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I know, despite my monicum of Dark Lord, I love Superman. He's one of my favorite characters.
Everybody has to love Superman.
He gives me hope. He gives me optimism.
That one guy in the room who's apathetic towards Superman.
But it's like,
you're a penguin. You don't have rights.
One of the things that always gets me is that, like, even I, someone who loves Superman, I couldn't tell you how to do a proper Superman game, because it's like, technically speaking, you should be able to do a video
game if you made him like lore accurate.
Yeah, because technically you should be able to do anything. Like, there should be no limits as Superman. That's kind of the point of Superman. I thought about, like, maybe you could do, like, a story where he's, like, depowered or something, but then that's like, well, maybe
that ruins the whole appeal, though.
Yeah, that ruins the whole appeal of Superman. I don't know. I feel like, as much as I don't like point-and-click games, I think a Telltale game would probably be one of the better options. But at the same time, it's like, it's Superman. You kind of want to have that experience of just maybe it was like mission based
or something.
Maybe a mission based one where it's like, here's your playground. You're surrounded by enemies. Now you can kind of do what you want without having to worry about it. But I don't know. All right.
Yeah, it's like the biggest problem with Superman is his whole indestructibility thing. Is like, okay, how do you even you have to actually ignore that in order for a game to really work? I think.
Well, I know
have everybody powered by kryptonite.
What's the challenge at that point?
Well, one thing you could do is like, you could do, and this might be a little too much. I don't know anything about game development aside from basic stuff, but like, maybe you could start the game off where you're a powerhouse, and then as the game progresses, enemies with kryptonite start being introduced, and now you actually have a health bar, but it's only when they're apparent when they're around. Or you can even have it to where, like, certain enemies, like, I don't know, maybe Doomsday shows up, and then suddenly out of nowhere you have a health bar, as if, like, you always had one, just nothing could hurt you. And so when you fight someone who can actually hurt you now, suddenly the invisible health bar that you thought didn't exist pops out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my god, I took damage. I didn't think that was even possible.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Oh, Slim. Okay, Slim has a good idea, and I actually like this. Have him not fight on Earth.
Imagine him.
Yeah, that's true.
Superman
That's
gets
fine.
kidnapped and has to like fight his way out of Apocalypse.
Mm.
So like you get to see like have a lot of the kind of minor apocalyptic villains as bosses. Get characters like Mantis and Kanto, and maybe have like because of the restraints on him, have basically like individual powers being locked down, and so like the further you get in the story, you get more of your powers back and end up being super strong.
All right,
Ooh,
so
You have
I
kind of
quite
like
like
that
that idea.
classic, that
Yeah, that
classic
kinda works.
adventure model of game where like the very first mission you already have all of the power-ups unlocked, and so you're basically you have a kind of a power trip just wrecking everything, and then something happens, that's when Superman gets captured, and so you start over from like
Yeah,
having,
make that the tutorial.
now I have two ideas that just popped in my head. One of them is I don't even want to call it a good idea because it's based on a comic that I love, and I know it's like kind of a niche thing. Have any of you ever read Superman versus Aliens?
No, I've not read that.
So in the comic, Superman goes. He finds like this crashed satellite that has like a Kryptonian message on it. So of course he's like, I gotta go investigate it. Oh, excuse me. So he flies out into space. He finds like this floating city. He enters it, but the thing is, like, he's so far away from the yellow sun, he's slowly losing powers. While he's there, he runs into the xenomorphs, and he's using his powers to fight them off. However, he's slowly losing powers. Now, I'm not saying you have to have him fight xenomorphs, as cool as that may be. However, I could see you doing a game where, and this might be a little bit more controversial, which is why I'm saying it first, is that maybe you start off super powered, and as the game progresses, you actually lose your powers and have to start like being smarter with how you handle your abilities. Like let's say you start the game off and you're on Earth, you're doing missions or whatever, and you have like unlimited power. Then when you take on to the main story or main mission and you go out into space, you now have like this giant meter of yellow sun energy. And it's like the more you use your powers or certain powers, the more it drains. And then it's like you can't recharge it. Or maybe you can like certain areas of the game, you can kind of like stagnate it or recharge it slightly. But I agree. But I'm already saying that's probably a more controversial take because you don't want to make the player feel underpowered.
Great.
Not
Right.
unless it's a horror game or a stealth game.
Well,
Yeah.
great. Now, since freaking Disney bought the rights to Aliens, right there,
Oh yeah, that ain't happening.
right there, DC could have tried to persuade Fox to doing a crossover, and right there, we could have had a new Superman TV series or a film. Right there. That would have been perfect.
The other idea I had is kind of like what you guys were saying, where it's like he's on Apocalypse and maybe he's got like some kind of like restraint on him, and like it's got like several locks, and you have to find each lock, or you have to break each lock, and each lock you break, the more powerful he becomes. And then at the end, when you get all the locks off, that's when you face the final boss, Darkseid.
I think the main problem is you just have to get rid of his invulnerability and maybe figure out a way to nerf his flight. Because other powers can work
The
in a
issue
game.
being with like the invulnerability is like even that he's not really invulnerable. Like if you have somebody that's at his level of strength, he can still get hurt. So that's why I think placing out an Apocalypse is a good idea, because
That's what I'm saying. Like
them
put it
all
on
being new
Apocalypse.
gods, he'll take those hits.
Well, because I remember there was a thing I watched a long time ago where it was talking about like flight in games, where it's like I can't remember what it was around, but it was basically saying like when it comes to like doing flight mechanics in a game, if you don't make the game like tailored to that, like the whole purpose of the game is flying around, it's very hard to like make it work properly, because it's like, well, what's to stop the player from just flying away from the play space? Like what's to stop them from just leaving? And then that's how you get those things where it's like invisible barriers where they can't fly, or it's like leaving mission zone. And it's like, yeah, that's a solution, but that kind of limits the player, and it kind of breaks the immersion of being the character.
Yeah,
So-
and that's why if this Apocalypse thing would have happened, say like there's an electrical
Okay, Slim's got a good
barrier.
idea. He has a piece of kryptonite lodged in his body. He spends a large part of the game trying to remove it.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Reasonable.
Maybe like a kryptonite collar, because if it's
That's why we
larger,
gotta
then it
keep-
technically should be
right
killing
there.
them.
around. He's smart. He has good ideas.
All right.
Slim-
All right.
Slim
I'm
is-
freaking tired. I need some
Yeah.
sleep.
All right.
Yeah,
Slim-
okay.
Yeah.
Throw in the towel, guys.
Yeah, Slim is the guy I would love to write a comic book with, but that's for another discussion. All right, so we're pretty much at 3 hours in. Just chatting. I appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate Soggy, even though she's not here. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate anybody who did watch or will watch or anything like that. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a good night.
Oh,
All
thanks.
right, I will
Thanks
talk
for
to you
having
guys
me on,
later.
Sauron.
Like I said, I'm also going to be streaming tomorrow, probably a little bit in the morning, and I will, post that to my Twitter, and in the Discords I'm in. So, hope you guys have a great night.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good
It was
night,
nice
everybody.
meeting all you guys.
Night, everyone.
Thank you
You
for a
too,
second
Rachel.
time. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, what you saying?
I was just saying night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Night.
Night.